everybody can be saved, like the Christian church teach, oh, come everybody, come as you are, everybody can be saved and God loves everybody equally. That's not true. You're actually, that's not true. You're actually making yourself an adversary to the will of the Heavenly Father by trying to teach some next level doctrine, which isn't according to the word that was given to us in the scriptures. So you're actually in danger of Revelation 22, of adding to the word and from taking away from the words of this prophecy. So you're in danger of judgment for that, right? So it says, right, I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. So what does it mean, his seed after him? It means the children that are going to come through their loins, because the seed of the man is the sperm. So the man carries the seed, and he impregnates a woman when he has sex with her. She conceives the seed and she brings forth a child. But really, you trace your lineage back through the seed line of men, which is why when I opened, I quoted Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18, which states that the nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers, because your lineage is accounted through the line of your forefathers, not through the line of your mothers, okay? Because the seed comes from the man, right? It says, as for Ishmael, I have heard thee, behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. So the Israelites did become a great nation within themselves, but they were never going to become as great a nation as the nation of Israel, because the whole world was made for our sakes. You know, the Most High have not dealt so with any other nation as he have dealt with the nation of Israel, because that is the Most High's portion. In fact, the scriptures actually say that he likens the other nations as unto a vessel that dropped from a bucket, right? So imagine you're carrying a big bucket of water, right? Go to a well, you fill it up, whatever. You're carrying that bucket of water. Let's say a little drop falls out from that bucket. Are you going to stop and for the sake of that one drop, get down on your knees and try and scoop that one drop up and put it back in the bucket? No. You're going to be more concerned with the greater volume which is in the bucket. So to make that point, the Most High considers the nation of Israel as that bucket, and the other nations as a small drop that fall from that bucket. In fact, the Most High actually likens the other nations as the small dust of the balance, or even as unto spittle. That's how the Most High likens the other nations, as unto spittle. When you spit on the floor, you haven't got much regard for that. You're not going to go home later at night and be lying in your bed and be thinking, oh shit man, I really feel bad about that spit that I hopped up and spat on the floor earlier on. You know, you're not thinking about that. So that's how the Most High considers the other nations, as they are nothing. In fact, they are less than nothing, right? So reading on, it says, right, as for Ishmael, I have heard thee, behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But, see, there's that but there, right? But my covenant, which I will establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. Yep, that's where the covenant's going to be established, right? And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. So there we go. So, jumping back, was I reading Romans 9 before? Let's go back to Romans and see if we can pick up where we left off. Romans 9. Right, so I was in Romans 9. And it says, Romans 9 from verse, let me start from 1 again, just skip in here. I say the truth in Hamashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh. Now this is the Apostle Paul, remember, he's talking about his kinsmen according to the flesh. So who are his kinsmen? Who are the Israelites? To whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of God, and the promises. So that's why it's so important for you who are reading the scriptures to know what happened in the time of the Greek Empire, for example, when a lot of the Israelites became Hellenized and they started behaving and adopting the customs of the Greeks. Therefore, they were calling themselves Greeks, but really they were Israelites who had been Hellenized. Now you get all that history in the Apocrypha, you know. So it says, "Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came." Remember, Yahushua said, "I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel." So it says, "Who is over all, godless forever, amen." Not as though the word of God have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So a lot of our people, as I said, they're going to perish on this side, and they're going to have to die and come to their right minds through the loins of the elect to survive this coming destruction, right? And it says, "Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they the children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called." See, and that's what I just read in Genesis 17. And it says, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, that these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are accounted for the seed. For this is the word of the promise, "At this time I will come, and Sarah shall have a son." And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. So that goes back to the point. You want to jump in?
No, go on.
That goes back to the point of the birthright actually was supposed to go to Jacob. You know, Esau got all twisted and butthurt, thinking, "Oh, he stole my blessing and he stole my birthright." But really, it was already preordained that neither children having done good or evil, that the election of the Most High might stand. So that's how it was always supposed to go down in the spirit. So it says, "It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, for as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated." There's another scripture where a lot of Christians get butthurt and they don't want to bring this one out. They try and say, no, but God doesn't hate, God doesn't hate. Well, look, man, you're trying to add and take away from the word, coming up with your own shit. Now, this is the thing about this truth, man. This isn't about how we feel. None of this is about how we feel. Let me put it this way, right? God forbid, but let's just say I was an Edomite and I wasn't an Israelite. I can't come up and be like, "Oh, this ain't the truth because I don't want to accept that I'm an Edomite and I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that." At the end of the day, you just have to accept this is the will of the Most High. You're just a man, I'm just a man. I can't, my thoughts aren't above the thoughts of Yahweh.
But you know what though, you know what it is? Because a lot of these Christians out in the world in general, they've been taught a certain way, man. And they've been taught to believe that basically God is just one way, God is all love. And you gotta understand that the world in general, they have this mentality of thinking that pretty much, you have a sense of free will and everything's done based on your own will. But according to the scriptures, there's no such thing as free will. It says that man's goings of the Lord, and how can a man understand his own way? And I mean, I bring that out to say this, that the Lord is always in control of what's going on and what people do. So the thing with Esau, the reason why Esau wasn't chosen, because when you go back to we're dealing with the spiritual aspect of things, dealing with reincarnation. What did Cain do to his brother? Cain slew his brother. Murdered his brother, right? Because he didn't give the correct offer. He gave the wrong offer instead. But, as I'm going to say, the Lord allowed that incident to go down. The Most High allowed it to happen because ultimately the Lord wanted to deal with Cain anyway. Okay? And this is the thing. So we can all say what we want to say. Mankind can say anything out of their mouths of what they feel and what they think. But it's all about what the Lord is saying at the end of the day. That's why it says in the book of Proverbs 19:21, there's many devices in a man's heart. In other words, their thoughts and their ideas. But the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. So within the counsel of the Lord, it was already preordained to set up in the spiritual world that he was going to be the chosen one among all of the other nations.
That's right.
If you can, brother, get me get me Romans 9.
I'm in there.
Come on.
That's what I'm reading from.
Oh, that's the spirit.
Yeah, shall I just keep reading then?
No, it's read to verse 22.
From 22.
No, Romans 9 to 22.
You want to read from 22?
Yeah, it's from 22.
Right, come on. Right. What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured much long suffering, the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had prepared aforetime unto glory? Even us, whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles.
Yeah, because the Gentiles, they were connected to the lineage, that chosen lineage. So when you read it with understanding, because an average person will read this and think, especially a Christian, oh, well, see, the actual Gentiles were grafted in. No, they weren't grafted in. What was going on at the time was you had Israelites, just like how you have it today. A lot of our people are out of the land, most of them, and all of them anyway, out of the land, and they became Hellenized in their own way, under the guise of these other nations. Just like Jakes in England have become Britanized, or Edomized.
Edomized,
yeah. Yeah, Edomized in England. And then you have the Jakes in America that have become Edomized in America. All right? But does that mean that we're actually Edomites? No. It's just that we're citizens, we become citizens in these areas. Just like how it was back then, you had Israelites that were citizens of Greece and all different places that Paul was going to. But they were still of the seed line of the chosen, which they were in relation to the Jews that knew they were Israelites. Go on, brother.
Right, reading on it says,
so this thing is about Israel. Go on, brother.
Even us, whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. As he saith also in OC, I will call them my people, which were not my people.
Yeah, which he's referencing Hosea. Now, I went somewhere else a little bit. I wanted to go into I want to read the verse where Paul was saying that the Lord would have mercy. He would have mercy.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Go on, yeah, read that.
Right. So reading on from where I was, right? So it says, not only this, in Romans 9:10, not only this, but when Rebekah also conceived by one, even of our father Isaac,
there you go, come.
For the children not yet being born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God, according to election, might stand.
That's a key word. Pay attention to that. That the purpose of God, according to election, that might stand. So it was purpose of God to choose Jacob rather than Esau. Let's read on.
Yep. Not of work. My voice is like not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her.
Right. It's not of works, but unto who?
But of him that calleth.
But of him that calleth. Go on.
It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
Yes.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
There you go. Go on.
What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness of God?
No, it is not, because the Lord can pick and choose whoever He has created as His chosen creation. Just like it says in the Apocrypha, where it mentions out of all of the elements He created, He has one thing of His creation that He's chosen. So He can do whatever the hell He wants. He can choose whatever He wants out of His creation. Exactly. So the Lord just happened to choose us. So even though, let's just say that incident never happened, right? Well, it really wasn't an incident, but let's just say what happened did not happen when our father, our great-great-grandfather supplanted Esau from their birthright and all that, right? Their blessing. The Lord would have had some other way to where Jacob would have got everything he needed from Esau. Because the Lord was not dealing with Esau, going all the way back to him being Cain, the spirit. All right? Because the thing with Cain already showed and proved that he can't serve the Lord. So the Lord wasn't fucking with that. The Lord was really messing with Abel. So Abel came back in the reincarnation that gave the right offering to Jacob, as we believe in the spirit.
That's right.
So the Lord is dealing with the soul that served him from the jump. And that's Abel, which is Jacob. And we're the descendants of Jacob. The true, genuine descendants of Jacob. Just like how you have these Amalekites in the land of Israel. They're saying that they're us. How can they be us when you go over to where they're at, they're actually promoting homosexuality in Tel Aviv in Israel today.
Exactly.
So they're showing you even right now, based on them having our names, they're still showing you that they can't even serve the Lord, man.
Yeah, they can't do anything right in that land.
Yeah. Like the scripture says, what if you have to do with my counsel and you don't even like to, what is it?
Seeing as thou castest my words behind thy back.
Right. Thou hatest instruction.
Yep.
Right? So these are not the people that are going to go in line with the instructions of God. Go on, brother.
Right. Reading on, it says, right, what shall we say then is the unrighteousness of God? God forbid.
Yeah.
For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
Yeah, and that's headed into the point. The Lord will have compassion on whom you will have compassion. So therefore the Lord found it right to have compassion on Jacob rather than Esau. Even though Jacob didn't listen to his father, didn't go along with his father, but he went along with his mother instead. But it was all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. It was already preordained by these two entities.
That's right.
So you can't say anything about it. They can get mad, but get mad to the Most High. Don't get mad at us. Because of how things went down. That's how it went down, man. And when you really look at these devils, let's say if they had got the blessing, they would have messed it all up.
Yep.
Because all messed up. Everybody's sick to death, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's because they're in the position of power.
Yeah.
And you know what? And speaking about what we're talking about, what I found out, right, which is this old news, ain't even kind of old news, but what they found was this, and pretty much I was going into this article because I saw your article you was going into, right, with
Can I talk about
Boris Johnson and
the coke,
the cocaine thing, right? So I looked into that what he was going into because curiosity got the best of me because I wanted to look into more things, right? So I found this other article. And what this article was saying that was, and I was going into it yesterday, and what they were saying was they found traces of cocaine in the House of Parliament.
Yeah.
11 out of 12 bathrooms. Come on, man. Restrooms, I meant to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, these politicians, the member of Parliament, they're all influenced under cocaine, man. They're under the influence of coke.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me, who's to take heed of what these niggas is saying on the cocaine? Come on, man. I might as well just go and listen to a guy that's on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't get they get the best the quality. They get quality stuff.
Yeah, they got that A1.
Yeah.
They got that A1 stuff, man. Man, and you know too what I found out? This individual. I don't know if you brothers know him. Maybe you do know him. His name is Jacob Rees-Mogg.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Right? He actually confessed that he said he had pharmaceutical opium. Right? So I looked it up, researched it. You know what I found it was? He was actually taking opium, man.
Okay.
So a lot of these members of parliament, these politicians, they're on drugs.
All right.
A lot of these people are on drugs. Calling the shots, telling people what to do. There's people out here that's never taken drugs in their life, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I've never taken no drugs in my life.
Me too.
Right? And they're gonna tell me what to do? They're gonna tell me to do A, B, and C. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Exactly.
Get the hell out of here, man.
And that's a beautiful point because
Go on, brother.
one of the things I learned when they were in that article is that they were saying that some of these bathrooms to get into you have to have a parliamentary pass to even get in there. It's like when you go to some company and they've got the executive toilets and stuff where if you're on a certain pay grade you get to go in kind of bathrooms and shit.
Yeah.
So some of the highest people in parliament who snort in that exactly. And the thing I find funny is that recently we've been seeing it and they're looking more and more stressed out. So I'm thinking to myself, they're bricking it because they know.
Yeah, they're bricking it, brother.
Yeah, they know that when people realise that their government has lied to them and fucked up their health and the health of their family members and their children, the scriptures say that they're not going to regard their kings nor princes.
Right.
So they're going to go up to Downing Street and be looking to keep the door of the niches, man. So these politicians know that. That's why they're flipping getting high, trying to
escape,
keep themselves
escape reality, and escape from the reality of what's going on.
Exactly. And if I may also add, right?
Go on, brother.
If you're in some low-level Jake in the hood and you're selling drugs or whatever, Esau's gonna kick down your door with a sniffer dogs, have you all flipping handcuffed in your boxer shorts in the middle of the street, and he's gonna put your ass in jail.
Right.
So you're telling me they can't set up sniffer dogs at the entrance to Parliament. So when these guys are coming up now, they're sniffing their briefcases, to find out who the offenders are.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the point that they don't want to find out who the offenders are because they're all offending.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's like one rule for them,
Yeah.
but the law's not going to touch them because they're above the law.
Yes.
So they think, but guess what? The Most High's got something very different planned for their artists.
Right.
Yeah, because it says in this article right here, it says traces of cocaine found throughout House of Parliament. Like, come on, man. Like, are you crazy? So it says it says a number of private locations within the House of Parliament have tested positive for cocaine in an investigation conducted by Vice. 9 secure areas within the building were checked with Class A drugs, and 4 came back conclusive. Various rooms that can only be entered with a pass were swabbed with a simple testing kit consisting of pale pink pipes that turns blue with trace of cocaine. And this is in the House of Parliament.
Exactly.
So as I'm going to say again, why would she put her hands up when she does? Right? So why would a person like me take these politicians seriously if this is what they're involved in? And here it is, they tell you, okay, you ain't supposed to do that. Otherwise, if we find you doing that, we can arrest you.
Yep.
Or you find yourself, we can arrest you. But these jackasses are doing the same thing that if we were to do it, we would get arrested for it, man.
Can't.
You know, and I mean, if you're going to be a leader of a country, you're supposed to set an example for the people. That's why you're a leader. A leader sets a better example above the civilians to look up to. But they're saying that they can't hack it.
Yep.
What they're basically telling you is they don't know what they're doing, and they're losing their minds, and they're under a lot of pressure because there's an agenda that they have to forward, you see.
Yeah.
And the agenda is gonna backfire against them severely. Going back to what you were saying, because the Pharisees is a lot of people are gonna wind up going down from number 10 down the street. And I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be violence. And that's what they're Pharisees.
Yep.
And they know that the Lord is coming back to haunt you too.
Yeah.
So that's why they on cocaine. But I'm just saying, I don't really care what kind of person they're going through. In this stage of the game, once you know this, you can't take these people seriously.
Exactly.
So even if they do tell you, brother, look, you got to get the booty shot. You got to get a couple of boosters there and there. Or there's a virus floating around. They're telling you under the influence of drugs.
Yeah.
So you can't take them seriously.
It's
So-
going to your instructions on how to conduct your life from him.
They're no different than a bum
On the
that's
street.
on heroin on the street. They're
Yeah.
no different. The only difference is that these niggas got money and the guy's broken the street.
Yeah.
Come on, man. If you can, brother, give me the scripture. What is it, man? I think it's in Isaiah 47. Uncover thy locks, unbear the leg.
Okay.
And I haven't even finished the article yet, but we're going to get the scriptures. So, I mean, if you have a bunch of leaders doing drugs, man, the member of parliament, major players, right? Then that means that's telling the people that the people can do what the fuck they want.
Can't.
And disobey law and order because they're giving law and order by being on drugs. They're passing these laws and legislation by being influenced by drugs.
Right.
Come on, brother.
Isaiah 47 from verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg.
And even though this is talking about America, but this whole entire system is under the influence of Babylon, which is America to be exact, and especially here in the UK. You know, England is really the country that made America for what it is. Spawned America, I would say. Go on, brother.
Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks,
Yeah.
make bare the leg.
In other words, they're going to be exposed for what they really are. They're going to be exposed based on their true biblical nationality, and they're going to be exposed according to the Bible that they're the wicked, and they're going to be exposed based on the wickedness that they have done. Go on.
Yep. Make bare the leg and uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered.
Right?
Yea, thy shame shall be seen.
Yeah, so pretty much the shame of these Edomites are going to be seen worldwide. That's why it says pass through the rivers. Meaning the world is going to see what they're really all about. Because Esau's projecting this image that they're just the perfect example of the world. The so-called white man's image is the example of the world. But what we're finding out is that they're far from the example.
Yep.
They're actually crooks in power, man. Snorting cocaine in the House of Parliament. Like, what the hell is going on, man? Go on, brother.
Right.
They said they found out of 11 out of 12 bathrooms, traces of white stuff. and they're gonna tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Someone that hasn't done drugs in the day of their life don't
Yep.
even know what the shit is like. Come on, brother.
So it says, thy
And this
naked,
brother too.
thy nakedness shall be uncovered,
Right.
yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
So now, and this is what proves and shows, man, that the Lord is getting ready to come back, because all of this dirt is coming back. And you know what? They didn't have to put that out there like that. The media didn't really have to put it out there. Like BBC bringing it out, talking about, yeah, there was this and that going on in Parliament.
Yep.
They didn't have to put it out, because now it's going to give people reason to just do what the hell they want to do.
Exactly.
It's a rolled up it. And as I've said before, and I only said it, a couple of times, this system that we're under is an illegal entity anyway. It's an illegal government anyway. That's why they're bent on illegality.
Yeah.
Because they're fraud, man, and wicked. You can't take these people seriously.
Yeah.
Go on, brother.
Like reading on, it says,
If you were to put us in power, I tell you, man, this world would be right side up in a matter of seconds. If you were to put us in power, these jokers don't know what to do. Go on, brother.
yeah, as the ruler of the people is, as
Yes.
the ruler of a city is, so are they that dwell therein.
Huh.
So it says, as for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness,
Yeah.
O daughter of the Chaldeans,
Huh.
for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms.
Yeah, because America's going to be penetrated. And if you can, brother, give me
Violent.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16.
Huh.
And it's a goddamn shame as well to know, and especially when it concerns the Edomites, knowing that their leaders are on cocaine. That's not a good look, man. That's not good. That's as low as you can stoop. I don't care who you are on earth. If you got the nerve to snort shit up your nose, anything up your nose, you're a base creature, man.
Yeah,
You're a base motherfucker. I can't value your words. I can't value the words of a man that puts white up his nose. Get the hell out of here, man. And they all doing it too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
Cedric Chaplin,
oh, that ballad.
that baller, like Benjamin said,
Yeah,
fucking
ballad.
right? He was on, I think he was on, they showed him on Sun News, and he was like, talking, being interviewed, and you could see he was sweating. Man was sweating, man. So I'm like, and I thought, I was like, what is he on, man?
Yeah,
Because when you look at these politicians, it's like, they look like they're either tired, or they look bit perplexed in the mind, or they just look hot. Especially Bojo the Clown, he always look hot, man.
Yeah.
the state of his hair, man, that's a real giveaway.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Huh.
But if I may just say
Go on,
something
brother,
quickly.
go on. I'm too hyped up.
Yeah, back in back years ago when I was still in the world, maybe around 2008 or 9. Was it around 2008 or 9? Well, maybe it was. Maybe
Around that time.
yeah, but if I remember correctly, or maybe even 2010. I had a friend in the world, and he was telling me that he started dating a school teacher, and I was like, okay, cool. And then he's telling me the secrets about what she gets up to after school. He was telling me she was snorting coke and shit. I'm like, what? She's a school teacher? Because in my head, I said, she's supposed to be someone who's setting an example for the children. And he was telling me about the shit she was getting up to outside of work and shit. And now we're seeing that the politicians at the highest level are doing that same kind of shit when they're supposed to be role models and examples. I can't look up to these people, man.
And you know what makes it worse as well? Like, we don't even live in a third world country, bro. Like, we live in a first world country. We live in England. This is England. This is not any old place. Any old place in the world. This is England. All right?
Great so-called Britain.
Right. Great Britain, as they call it. Right? But these people, heaven is we're in this country here, and they're in the highest position of power, and they're actually showcasing that they're on cocaine. Come on, dog. Like, that shows you right there that this society is done. It's so it's through. It's through. That's why I got a big Kool-Aid swallow about this, man. This place is done. If your politicians is snorting cocaine, man, it's up and out. Esau done lost their minds. They know they got to forward an agenda, and it's picking them up down so bad that they gotta resort to the lowest thing ever. Getting high on them drugs. Go on, brother.
Right. Habakkuk 2 from verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered.
Right, and see, this is the Bible coming out. The scriptures predicted that there was going to come a time when Esau was going to rise up into the power seat. And in the time, as we're processing towards his end, that he will be shown, exposed for what he really is. Because we've already exposed him as to who he is according to his nationality. We've already exposed him other things such as, you know, what kind of conglomerations that these people are involved in, these groups, right? And these groups have nothing to do with righteousness whatsoever, but everything to do with wickedness. I'm talking about the Masonry Brotherhood, which we're also finding out that a lot of these jackhasses that are in these high positions of power is on fucking white, man. Putting white up their nose.
Yep.
Got me reminding me of that one song, man, White Lines and shit. Like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Your politicians, the member of parliament, on that shit. Going, bro.
Behaving like Amy Winehouse, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're getting drunk. They're mixing it with alcohol too.
Right.
Come on, man.
So like, just not to change the subject, but there's another article I was watching before I went to sleep yesterday, talking about how, you know, when Boris came on TV saying we have to cancel Christmas last year?
Yeah.
Apparently, all them members of parliament were having these wild-ass Christmas parties, man. So I won't be surprised if they were snorting coke.
Of course they was, brother. Of course they was.
But yet they're telling everybody, oh, you can't visit your grandma at Christmas because of COVID. But yet they're partying it up.
But just to say this, little brother, we allege that that's the case.
Yeah, But yeah, let me read on. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered.
Right.
The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
Yeah, and that's what we're experiencing right now. We're experiencing that. Basically, well, should I say, what we're seeing is what we're seeing is something that's been going on behind closed doors, and now it's all coming into the forefront.
That's right.
That's what we're seeing, man. Like, this so-called white man, he tried to project himself like he was just this dude. Like, he's just the perfect example, right? The gentleman of England, right? With that posh, old English accent. Comes to find out, man, these dudes is nothing but scoundrels. Basemen. That's what they always were anyway.
Scoundrels, yeah.
If you can, brother, get me Joe. You know what I want.
30 and 8.
30 and 8, huh? Because no matter how high Esau gets in his world and leading and ruling, there will always be base. That base nature will always be in them because they're base, man.
Yeah.
No matter what the deal is, they're going to be base, and they're going to influence you to be base. That's why people are in a base state of mind themselves. Everybody is. Yeah.
Job 30. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock.
Because they will sleep with your dogs. It's like how you find that out today on these many different articles and shit. Go on, man.
So like it, and I just say, I was doing a rewatch. I don't know if I put it in the chat, I can't remember, but I was rewatching an old YouTube clip of one Edomite woman who was in the park with her dog, and she gets a little cup and she lets the dog piss in the cup, and then she starts drinking it, and she says, that's why my skin looks so good, because dog's urine is proven to fight cancer and prevent acne and all this kind of shit. And I was like, whoa, it's an old one, they call it an oldie but a goodie. But that's what these Edomites be doing, man. Tongue kissing the dog in the mouth.
Yeah.
Sleeping with the dogs.
Yeah.
Doing all kind of shit, man.
And sometimes, like, I mean, I know the apostle said what he said, man, but sometimes you gotta be careful when you're dealing with the Edomite woman because, boy,
You don't know where her mouth's been, man.
that's it.
Yeah. Can I just say as well that a brother was saying that there was a party, someone had a, what they call it, what is it, man? Surprise party, right? And they went in, they opened the door, right? And they caught the woman, an Edomite woman with a dog, right? And she put yogurt on the pum pum, because that's how
the dog was licking it up.
they get the dog to entice it to lick off the yogurt off the pum pum. That's how they do it. So that, she got caught, and it was on. And I think one of the other camps, put it out, a little clip of it.
Yeah,
man.
But that's what they be doing, man, for real. For real, man.
And I'm not gonna lie, I have seen something like that on World Star Hip Hop years ago. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I couldn't watch it, man. I saw it for like 5 seconds, and shit. I was like, no, I can't. My eyes gotta be lying to me at this present moment.
Yeah. It's like, where did he get these thoughts from?
Yeah.
It says, for want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time desolate and waste. who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They are driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. To dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in the caves of the earth and in the rocks. Among the bushes they prayed, and under the nettles they were gathered together. They were the children of fools, yea,
base men.
children of base men, and they were viler than the earth.
And it really doesn't matter, even if they call themselves being cultivated, right? And having to stand up correctly against man.
Yeah.
They're still base creatures, man. They still got that dirty, rotten ways about them. They're they're base people. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's not that much of a surprise that the members of parliament are on that on the cocaine. But I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you're gonna lead over the people, being influenced on the drugs, and even this individual here, Reese Smart, I wanna tap into what he was saying, right? Because he came out and told the truth in his own way.
He's on the opium.
And he's on and he's on that old shit, you know. Let me pull it up, man. And this is laughable. That's why we're laughing. This is a laughable thing. See, look.
He's out.
Right.
But that's the funny thing, because the police will never stop a man like that walking down the road. The Edomite that looks like that walking through Westminster, the police would be like saluting.
Show the camera, Baba Kusha, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
That's the nigga right there. He's smart.
Yeah. Right.
You can see.
And the other one too.
Yeah. He's got all the phallic symbol on. He's got the glasses.
Yeah.
That Jehovah's Witness look.
Yeah. He looks like a so-called good, upstanding white
citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he goes as far as to read. Says, the opium kicked in. Reese Smart admits, and this is the 4th of September. It's old news, but you can still pull it out, right? It says the leader of the Commons apologized to fellow Tory for sprawling on a bench, slipping out of consciousness and vomiting into the sterling silver bucket during a crucial vote, confessing that he had packed his pipe too tightly. So, he continued, "I taking a tincture of pharmaceutical cocaine before my speech. Give me an eloquence to Cyril." So I looked up what he was. I looked up what he was actually saying, and it was oxycontin. So these members of parliament are actually on drugs
when they're supposed to be governing over the people.
Yeah, and I mean the reason why I'm laughing at the same time, because it's like, you know, it's kind of shameful to talk about these things that they're doing. You know what I mean? It's shameful even speak it out.
Yeah.
That's what they're really doing. But we have to really, the reason why I'm bringing this out, because it's to further convey the point, the so-called white, that you can't take this dude seriously.
Yeah.
This dude is like the saying goes, a dirty, rotten scoundrel.
Yeah.
Right? That's what these devils are. No matter how high they go, no matter how good they look, no matter how much money they got, they'll always be base. And then they want to project to you that they're posh and they got the standard of class and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But they're the most unclassy motherfuckers you'll ever meet in real life, man.
That's right. And
look at your prime minister. Look at the leaders of the world. Look at it's locked it, bro. I'm gonna cut him, right? But I was watching the video. I watched another video, and I don't know if you've really seen the video. Joe Biden, he was in this mechanic area. It's called Mechanic Place, and it was like one blind guy that was leading him. What? Yeah,
a blind man was leading Joe Biden.
He was leading Joe Biden. Yeah. So what happened was Joe Biden
needs the blind both according to the ditch.
Exactly. So the blind man, he knew where he was at more than Joe Biden did. You know what Joe Biden said? He says, "Hey guys, what's up, man? How you doing, man?" And then he later says, "Where am I?" But the nigga can see.
Yeah.
But the blind man, he can't see, but he knows where he's at more than Joe Biden is.
Yeah, he had a case of amnesia.
Yeah.
When they get older, the Edomites are known for suffering from that amnesia thing before Jake, that bad memory thing, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because when you think about it, right? Joe Biden, Boris Johnson, these are supposed to be the creme de la creme of the Edomites, like the highest. Like these are the ones to look up to, but yet even their so-called greatest men are just base and stupid. And you know what? The Most High's got a sense of humor by putting Joe Biden as the president of the USA, because if you look back in history, like for example, go back to the days of John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy was a very eloquent speaker.
Yeah, he was.
You know, and he carried himself a certain sort of way, and he had the respect of the people. Transition now to 2021. Who you got leading Babylon the Great? Fucking Joe Biden, who's falling up the steps.
He's fumbling, bro.
Yeah, apparently he's shitting himself.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's wearing diapers.
Yeah, that's what they
Can't.
that's what they're saying, isn't it?
Second childhood, isn't it? That's what they call it. When you get older, they say he's getting into his second childhood now.
He's incontinent.
It's true though, because he's about that age, you know.
Yeah, but that guy's a demon anyway, man. It's coming out that he's having sexual showers with his daughter and all this kind of shit, man. And that's the guy you got running your country. See, this is the thing. You can only pop up a falling house for so long, man. You can only pop it up for so long. It's like a wall that's, you know, when the wall's kind of bowing, and it's gonna collapse, but you don't know when. Well, that's America for you, man. It's gonna fall, and the fall of it's gonna be great.
And they lied to you. They lied to the rest of the world. They're projecting this image that they're just perfect and you're supposed to be like this, and you're supposed to go to college and all of this other stuff. It was all a lie, man, to be like these guys. It was all a lie. Because when you really think about it, a lot of these high-level individuals, man, you know, as I've said and I'll say it again, they're base. They're base. I mean, pretty much you can just do what the hell you want. You don't have to say excuse me to people you don't like. You can just be however you want to be, because your prime ministers and your politicians, they do what the fuck they want.
Yep.
They're on the class A drugs, opium, and the white shit.
I've got a precept.
Go on, brother.
It's actually prophecy. Lamentations 4:21.
I'm actually surprised, a lot, your brother. I'm actually surprised that the people of Great Britain haven't teared down Downing Street as of yet.
Yep.
Go on, brother.
Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked.
Yeah, and that's it right there. They're in a stagnant state right now. They're sloppy. They're not as sharp as they used to be with their psychological operations.
Yeah.
They're all over the place, man, and they're exposing themselves. And they can't help but expose themselves, because for so many years they've been holding in they've been holding their truth in for so long. So now, the more you keep bottling in something, it's just gonna combust eventually.
Yeah.
All right, it's just gonna overflow. Like, if, let's just say, for example, I have a wine bottle, right? And I keep pouring water in the wine bottle. I constantly keep doing it. Eventually, the water's gonna overflow out of the wine bottle.
Yep.
Because they've been holding their baseness for so long. Now it's like, you know what? I finally got it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just come out and just be who I am and let it be known. That's what the situation will end with these politicians going out.
Yeah, and because they know they've got a short time, Revelation 12 and 12, and they're basically, that we just read the scripture, rejoice. They're rejoicing. It's like when someone goes into prison, or they come out and they get parole, and they know that that's like Monday, right? Say like it's the beginning of the week. The end of the week, they know they've got to go back into prison. What they do, they go and get drunk.
Yeah.
They drink. So they know that according to prophecy, it says rejoice and be glad, O daughter of, you know. So they know that this is their last fling, man.
Yep.
The last hurrah.
The last hurrah, and some of them can't function properly without it. I mean, it actually, what's the word? Robin Williams, he died of an older, you heard of a comedian, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Didn't he hang
Very,
himself?
huh?
I thought he hung himself, yeah.
But there's, you know, rumor has it, it was an overdose, and he was a bit, he was addicted to it.
Yeah, he was
But
alright,
you know they get the best.
A lot of chicks was checking him out.
They get the quality stuff, and he apparently, a lot of comedians can't perform with that unless they have to take their thing. It goes back. Same thing with Esau. Esau needs a boost. He can't perform properly. He can speed up your mind, and it can, which is actually a demon.
Yeah.
So it helps them to perform in what they're doing better. And even I know this from people that smoke weed, and people have different reactions, different ways. Some people, they say when I smoke weed, which it's the same
But
kind
you know
of.
what, though? You don't even have to do all of that. Like,
When they take it,
Yeah.
it helps them to. If I want to clean my house, I smoke weed, and it makes me do the job better. Same principle. That's what they're dealing with.
Because what it is, they want that. Everybody wants that quick fix, right? And it's like, you don't even have to do all that. You can just get you some ginseng. That ginseng, but it comes in real slow. Just get the ginseng.
Too slow though, isn't it?
Like,
It's too slow.
What was I going to say? It's jumped out of my mind. Forgive me. Just keep teaching. If it comes back, I'll mention it.
They perform.
No, the truth. I remember now. The truth. That shows that what we're doing hasn't been in vain. Because like this truth has broken this man's society down to the point where on YouTube now he has to take away the dislike count.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
And that shows that it's all broken.
Yeah, innit?
Yeah.
Fuck, you know, you
Now
doing it
think
to
about
me.
this, right? I mentioned that I was watching that video of that Edomite woman who's drinking dog's piss. I'm looking at this, I'm thinking this thing's got like 62 likes, but no dislikes. Why is that? Well, Esau took away the dislike counter, but what's that kind of, what does that say about videos like that? Because someone's watching this, they might think, hang on a minute, drinking dog's piss is okay because 62 people like it.
Right.
So that shows that Esau's whole scale,
He's
had to destroy his whole balance scale just to try and hide this truth.
Yeah, because he's looking bad. He's looking bad out there. Like a lot of people are not liking what Esau's up to.
Exactly.
So I mean, like every time you see that white, right? What you see what is it? You see 2,000. You may see 2,000 likes, or you may get like 2,000 dislikes and 100 likes.
Yes.
A way off scale balance of who likes your videos and who doesn't like your videos. Because people are hating on these politicians, man.
Yeah.
Because of what they stand for. People are realizing what these people really stand for. They don't stand for the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But guess what? These ain't our politicians. These are the so-called white politicians.
That's right.
They gotta have to deal with that by themselves. That's an in-house situation.
Yeah.
They can't come to me and say, well, or us in general, and say, well, we suffered too, and we went through this and we went through that. No, you niggas ain't going through anything. You starting to go through something now.
Yep.
And you supposed to. And you know what too? You're supposed to go through hell, man, because of what you did. As long as you committed.
Are he that shall altogether?
Yeah.
Is he the one that shall altogether go unpunished?
Yeah.
No, you shall not go unpunished.
Yeah. So that's just the thing right there, man. This is their time to taste a little bit. Should I say the cup?
Yeah.
The drinking of the cup now. I mean that says quite a bit. You know, what I mean, if your politicians are on drugs, then you know, what I mean, I can't take these Edomites seriously when I look at them, and I can't take their people seriously. That's really going with the Bible. And that's why now you notice when you look at the Edomite walking down the street, he's either looking down or he can't look at you in the face because they're ashamed of themselves.
Why how the tables have turned? Because there was a time when as a Jake, if you're walking down the street and you look at Edomite in his face, it's like, what are you looking at, boy? What are you looking at, boy?
Yeah.
You might end up getting lynched for that.
Yeah.
So you have to walk with your, you know,
Yes. Can't look at him in the eye. Yeah, you couldn't look at him in the eye.
Yeah.
Now they can't even look you in your face because of the shame. Go on, brother.
If I may say as well, when we're teaching out there in Brixton, you know, Elder Dowdell's got that sign. The amount of Edomites, when they walk up and they see that sign, they turn away.
What sign? What sign?
You know the sign of the Jake, you know, without sanctuary?
Yeah.
Sign where Jake's getting lynched.
Yeah.
And Edomites standing around looking all proud like they've accomplished something.
Right.
A lot of people get very offended by that sign.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't want to confront their past.
Yeah.
That's why they have to quickly like turn away, or they say, that's offensive. That's offensive. Well, guess what, man? It is offensive, but that's our history, man.
But you know what's offensive though? It's that your politicians are on that cocaine. That's
Oh,
what's
yeah.
offensive. Members of parliament is on as we allege. We say we allege, right? It's on that white. So they gotta, hey man, that's offensive in itself. So I mean, at the end of the day, Esau can't run away from their past and they can't run away from now.
Yeah. Right.
He was saying, right? He was saying that he has that the water has that because I've seen the sign too, and it's very graphic. It is graphic. For these levels it is.
Yeah.
They're trying to run away from it, but guess what? You can't run away from your lousy prognosis.
That's right. They're leading you into destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to say that. It's like,
Well, that's a good point, because scriptures say thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. So really, if these low-level Edomites had any integrity, which they don't, they'd have already sorted out the problems in
yes,
Parliament.
of course.
Because the corruption there didn't just happen yesterday. It's been going on since the whole thing, as you said, it's the road government.
Yeah.
It's been going on for the longest, but the common Edomite man has benefited from all the wickedness that has been done by their government. So it's only now that the government is actually finally turning against them and showing them, look, we don't need you low-level peons. Now they're starting to feel the brunt of the brunt of the corruption.
God.
Whereas before they were all complicit with it, man.
That's it. And you know, to now these Edomites, they can't point the finger and say, yeah, look at these blacks, look what these blacks are doing.
Exactly.
Oh, they sell the drugs, but your prime minister's allegedly is on cocaine, and your rest of your members of parliament. So now you can't point the finger. Oh yeah, look at these blacks. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just them niggas in the ghetto.
Yeah.
They're the drug dealers and they're the criminals.
Well, yeah, you can't. Them days are old now, because now you gotta look at the problem. What it is, these devils don't want to look at the fucking mirror, man. Look at the fucking mirror. Okay, go on, brother.
Now, was it Bill Clinton? He done the law, the three strike rule, right? That was in the 80s, and you got arrested for a little bit of crack. You had a felony. They give you a felony, which means you got a felony in your record. To get a job now, you know, it's very difficult. So you're probably likely to go back to selling drugs again. So you got the three strike rule, which you've done it a third time now. You get life. Lock up.
Life in prison.
That's how, yeah, for selling crack. That's how a lot of the jakes then got ended up doing. Some of them are still in there for doing that. So you're talking about this, the real drug takers and dealers too, on a high level. So that's why when we get them, they're gonna, first of all, they're gonna suffer from cold turkey when we lock them up.
Of course, yeah.
And that's one way we can kind of get really fuck them up. They can't get no, you know what I mean? So that's one way we're going to get them, man, because of what they done to our forefathers, our ancestors, and our immediate ancestors. Yeah,
we're going to get them real bad, man. But it's like, man, these Edomites, they don't want to look at themselves in the mirror. They don't want to look at themselves and say, you know, we're a bunch of crooks, man. We're a bunch of thieves. We stole and raped the world. We enslaved people. And they just want to just point at us and what the wrongs that we're doing. But they're doing so much wrong. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. That's why we're laughing right now and ridiculing them, because it's like, whoa, like, you can't point the finger at us and say, oh yeah, look at what this nigga's doing.
Yeah.
But when you look but look at the leaders. And you know what too, the wrong that Jake does, it can't be compared to the wrong that they do. Right. If Jake killed another Jake on the street, any niggas is Esau killing.
Esau's
compare the numbers. I mean, we talking about dropping bombs, atomic missiles, drones, and killing thousands of people at one given moment. Boom, right? You want to talk about the British Empire? How many people died under the British Empire? Come on, man. You can even go and do research on the the Box Rebellion War, which was based on what? The same shit that my man, what's his name? Jacob Rees Mogg is his name, right? He admitted it. He said, I took the shit. So this is the thing, man. And you know what, too? I wouldn't be surprised if they on that shit, too.
Yeah, that's the spirit they're in, That's that spirit that's on them. When you walk around them and you just watch them, they're on that. This is our last fling. We might as well go mad now.
Yeah. But they might as well. Because the politicians are doing what the fuck they want. So really, if I was these cats, just go down to 10 down the street, man. And give them the business. Because your politicians are doing what the fuck they want anyway. Come on, how you gonna find cocaine in the House of Parliament? Come on, man.
That's like, imagine in the kingdom of heaven, where we're situated in the temple or whatever, finding coke there. Ain't gonna happen, man. Ain't gonna happen.
That's fucking ridiculous, man.
In your highest level buildings, where your highest so-called great leaders are supposed to collect and have their meetings and discuss the future of the country, they're busy snorting coke, man. Allegedly.
Come on, man. And they pass, and they pass them. That's why the scripture says, man, woe to them that pass, unrighteous decrees. Because they're under the influence of drugs, man.
But that goes to show that Esau's the ultimate drug dealer, because it's a hilarious situation, right?
It's funny.
It's hilarious because what's Esau saying now with his clock shop thing, right? He's saying that, well, you're going to have to get boosters every 6 months or so to keep topped up. As if like you're topping up your mobile phone.
Yeah, because brother, the previous shots that you take actually wins.
Yes.
That's what Bojo is about to be sitting.
Did he say that? He said that?
Yeah, he said the previous shots that you took, because it waned, now you gotta get the booster to bring it back up again. Something,
So that shows that he's the ultimate drug pusher, because he's like a drug dealer, man. He's trying to get you hooked on his hooked on his shit, so you keep coming back to him. And he's just, well, okay, I'll see you in another 6 months for your next boost, right? These people are fucking crazy, man. If you just use your head, right? Use your head. This man is saying to you that your only hope to survive C19 or whatever is to have an annual subscription to Esau's drug industry. Like you buy a magazine subscription or something like that. It's fucking madness, man. But these people are still queuing up to do this shit.
Yeah.
Strong delusion, man.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Because they're high, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's high nowadays, man. Politicians is all of it. Come on, man. You don't get no more embarrassing than that. The politicians, remember Parliament on the white shit, and then you got a Rees-Mogg motherfucker that's talking about, he took the pharmaceutical cocaine, which is opium. Come on, dog. Let's get back into the scripture. Yep. So Esau's done. Esau's done. It's over, man. You know what? We might as well just say Yahweh Shah is on his way, man.
Yep.
Because the way it's looking right now, I don't think Esau, well, it's not that I don't think, I know that Esau done got another 100 years. Well,
no
in
way.
this estate.
No way.
There's no way.
No way, you'd be lucky.
I wouldn't even say 20 years. Esau done got another 20 years.
You'd still be lucky if he has 10.
Yeah.
I've got a precept. Isaiah 9 and 16.
Man.
For the leaders of this people cause them to err,
Damn right.
and they that lead them are destroyed.
Yeah, and you know, that really applies to us. That applies to us first, but we can use this for, in generally speaking. Because the people that are in the positions of power, man, like they're under the influence of bullshit, right? And they're causing a lot of their own people to err in their way. You know? Just like how you've had them for the longest time, it's still kind of do. You got these so-called black pastors that are involved in leading, you know, the so-called black community having work, right? Causing us to err in our way. But it's happening to them now. It's happening to these Edomites. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just ridiculous what's going on out here in this world. It really is, man. But it's a beautiful thing because it shows us, the elect, the men of the Lord, that this society is getting ready to be out.
That's right.
And the kingdom of heaven is getting ready to come in. So it's a beautiful thing.
I'll say something on the topic of this. This is funny because if you remember, Esau used to pump drugs and guns into Jake's communities.
Yes.
I remember watching a video, maybe a year or two ago, of this Edomite police officer who used to work on the anti-drugs unit, and they used to arrest Jake, throw Jake in prison, all this kind of shit. But the irony is that his daughter got addicted to crystal meth, and she ended up being on it so bad that she overdosed and died.
I think I heard that.
And he was sitting there crying, saying, "Oh, but she was my daughter." And there's a little Edomite girl. They put a picture, you know, like, "Oh, you know, some Becky. She's like, you know, some angel or whatever." And he's there crying, saying, "I never thought this would happen to me." When he'd been fucking rolling on Jake, throwing Jake under the prison and shit for the longest, man. So now, the reason I'm saying that is because the curses are flipping and they're falling on these Edomites now.
Yes.
It's a lot of Edomites that are addicted to crystal meth and shit like that. Where you see the fucking the mug shots, they look fucking through, man.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to see because, you know, fuck you Edomites, man, for what you've done to our people, man. Fuck you.
And they deserve every little bit of what they're getting right now. They're gonna get worse because that shows you right there that they're actually experiencing a little bit of the curses in Deuteronomy 30 and verse 7 because your leaders being on drugs, man. That really just signifies it all right there. What your country is all about and what your people are all about in general. That's in this country. Because I remember years ago, man, I used to go on these articles and you see these crackers, you see these blacks, you know, talking all kind of shit. Now I don't really see too much of that no more.
Yeah.
Because it's like a lot what's going on right now, especially on YouTube. You got these nuts hunters, right? That's finding these guys, right? Acting as though they're children on these websites as decoys.
Oh yeah.
And then finding these men, and all you see is so-called white men. So-called white man trying to get at them with the children.
Yeah.
And it's constant. It's I mean, you got some of the Edomites too that are found, but it's mostly so-called white men that are finding themselves having to
impersonate younger people on social media. So they're pretending to be like they're 15 or something.
Yeah.
They're say, "Oh, do you want to be my friend and stuff?" And a young child, like, they might be playing their PlayStation or someone messaging me, they think, "Oh, it's just someone regular." But really, it's some fucking dusty ass, you know, 52-year-old Edomite who's trying to groom the child
Yeah.
in order to get him into a sort of like pedophilic relationship with him.
Yeah.
And you know, too, the reason why they're not really putting these pedophiles in jail in totality, because there'll be no white males in the street.
Yeah.
And the prisons will be overflowed.
Yes.
Pedophiles. So that's why they give them what, maybe 8 months in, and then bring them back out. Yeah. So because it would be overly populated in the prisons, and there'll be no so-called white people walking up the street. If the justice system took it seriously,
Yeah.
there'll be no so-called white men on the street at all. Go on, brother.
I've got a precept. You mentioned it, I'll bring it out. This is Deuteronomy 30 and verse 7, and it says, "And Yahweh thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee."
Yeah.
So we've been persecuted, man.
Yeah, we've been persecuted, but they're about to be persecuted by the heavenly hosts as well, and with us. When we're delivered and we're set up in power, we're going to persecute them. But it all begins with what they're experiencing right now with their prime ministers.
Yeah.
Going the opposite way of what they've expected the people.
To just add to your point, you know what's beautiful, right? We see these Edomites walking up and down wearing these Father Christmas hats and shit. They're going to have their Christmas parties and stuff. Well, this is like their last bit of joy.
It's looking like,
Yeah, because you can tell these people are fucking down and depressed when the best thing they can do is dress up like fucking Father Christmas on a Saturday night, coming out in the rain, mind you, to do what? Some folly, man. And then they're going to go back to their homes, to their boring ass little lives some more and do the same shit, be back in the same shit. Like, coming out here and acting a fool doesn't really change your life. It's like these people are stupid, man. They've got no sense on how to, it's like they know something's wrong and they want it to be better, but they've got no sense on how to make it better.
And you know what too, you know what it shows? It shows that they're powerless. Because really what they should be doing is handling business.
Right.
The whole country can just go to 10 Downing Street and do what they gotta do.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do what they gotta do because they're fucking cowards, man.
That's right.
Take responsibility and stop pointing the finger.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
Fun, man.
Oh yeah, if you can, go back to Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 16 and look up that word spewing.
Oh, I don't have blue light.
Oh, you don't have that. Yeah, read what you had though.
Right, Habakkuk 2 and 16 says, it says, "Thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered.
Yeah, that's the curses they're going to drink on. Go on.
The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory."
And as you was reading Deuteronomy 37, right, you was reading that all of these curses shall come upon our enemies.
Yeah.
Now, what is the curse that we had to suffer?
Cover it up. See that? That's what Esau tries to do.
Whoa.
Cover it up.
But they can't, it's no longer, they can't cover it up anymore. Now we're in a time where it's being exposed.
Exactly.
Like it says in the book, I think it's in the book of Luke 12, it says there's nothing that should be
Hidden that
uncovered.
should be uncovered, yeah.
Yeah. So everything's coming out about the so-called white man. These are based by nature people.
And a kiddie fiddler, like
Yes. Habakkuk 2 and 16. "Thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory."
Yeah, because what I wanted to say originally is that we had to deal with being embarrassed ourselves. That was also part of our curse, as Israelites. And now they're bearing the brunt of having to deal with their shame being known and exposed around the world. And that's why when these devils go around the world, people don't respect them. People look at them crazy. Because people already know what's going on around these devils. We live in the age of the internet where you can actually see how countries get down and how the people conduct themselves in these countries.
Yes.
Without having to actually go there. So the world actually sees the so-called white man for what he really is. Once upon a time, the world used to hate us because of how they used to use the media to make us look terrible with the music, and they still kind of do. But it's not having that much of an effect. You know why? Because people are looking at the man that's actually having an effect on their life. And it's the politicians and it's the people that's in power that's going to have more of an impact on your life and how your life, goes and all that. So people are looking at these people more so. See, so I mean, if you're able to actually find out that your politicians, the same people that run the world in general, on this stuff, man, that's not a good look. That's gonna actually do people also to hate your kind. Because your powers, which is bearing your faces, bro, they're corrupt, man.
Yep.
You so-called white people, you're showing yourselves to be corrupt and crooked as you've always been.
I've got a precept. This is Revelation 12 verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ.
You can't, brother, hold this.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night.
Yeah, so our Lord is about to make his second return. Yeah, so our Lord is getting ready to make his second return. Our salvation is drawing near. And how do we know that our salvation is drawing near ultimately? Because the politicians are bugging the hell out, the leaders are bugging the hell out, and they're exposing themselves that they run on cocaine or on opium. And we're seeing the signs and wonders in heaven. We're seeing so-called phenomenons in the heavens.
Oh, that's another one. So lucky to interject, but I was reading an article which Lord willing I'll do a video and I forgot to do it. But they were saying about another disclosure on the UFO things. They were saying they had 144 cases of UAPs. And this is another new article because they said that before. Another one which is saying, 144 cases. That's a spiritual number, man. So Esau's being confounded on all sides, man. It's like a guy that he can't keep his own trousers up, man. It's like he's staggering around, like he can't keep himself together, man. He's falling apart on every front.
No, that's all right, brother. Yeah, so read what you got.
Right, I've finished that. The accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. So that's what Esau's been doing.
Yeah, pointing the finger like, oh, look what Jake's doing. And basically, the so-called Jews, what they do. And I'm not talking about them guys that was rapists. I'm talking about the guys with 60 times. What these guys do get up into secret is trying to put curses on us and praying towards the Most High so that the Most High can turn his favor from us.
Yeah.
Right? So the accuser of our brethren will be cast out eventually. And salvation drove near to the real Israelites, as we just read. Because we're the Israelites, man. We're not no black people. We're not no Afro this and Afro that. Afro-Caribbean, Afro-American, none of that. We're the Israelites. That's who the hell we are. That's who the politicians know as to who we are, man. They know us to be the Israelites. This whole entire government, we can talk about the shadow government from the government that you do see. They know so-called black man, Latino Native American men are indeed Israelites. All right? And they know that they're the real deal niggards of the face of the earth.
Yep.
And that they descend from Esau and Edom. Which they don't want to get out, but it's already got now.
Yep.
Already going, brother.
That's why they're having to do these long ass, getting these Christian pastors to say the Edomites are extinct and all this kind of shit. Trying to hide the truth of who they are. The Edomites weren't done away with, and as Apostle Elder Tahar says, if the Edomites were done away with, so ask where and when in history it happened.
Right.
And they can never do that.
Because realistically speaking, it never happened. That's why they can't find the dates.
But it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's coming when the kingdom is set up. When the kingdom of heaven is set up and they endure 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, and after that, that's when we're gonna get rid of them. But the Edomites are still here. They're ruling and they're doing pretty well right now, man. But it's only for a short span of time. And this could, like you said, brother, this could be their last Christmas.
Lord willing, man. I'm gonna get Job 9 and verse 24.
Okay.
Right. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So a good way to deduce who this man is ask yourself the question, who covered up the face of the judges? Wasn't the Moabites? Because you don't see the Moabites in their churches having a Moabite looking so-called Jesus Christ, do you? You don't see the the Ammonites doing that, the Elamites. It was the Edomites who did that, who tried to cover up the face of the Lord, first of all by Xing out the image of our Lord, and Xing out the image of the Most High himself, and the angels, painting them as these freaking little cherubs. They call them, these little naked little babies. That's the Edomites that did that. They covered the face of the judges. Really, the judges of the earth are supposed to be us, the Israelites, because our wisdom in the sight of the nations is the knowledge of the scriptures and the laws. That's supposed to be our wisdom in the sight of the nations. So we're supposed to be ruling over them and judging them. But Esau flipped the script. But really, this is the agenda of the Most High, because it says, surely the turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's play. So in order to humiliate us, the Most High has put us in a very low state to where the basest of men is now ruling over us and lording over us. So that's a real shame, man.
Yeah.
And we have no power in our hands to come out from underneath this man.
Yeah, because when you really think about it, and I'm glad you said what you said, which was the spirit, because I want to say this, man. It's not a good thing when you got so-called white people, Edomites, the basis of all creatures, and the people that God hates ruling over you. That's not a good look.
Yep.
That's not a good thing to be boastful about. Really, in all reality, being that we're the chosen people of God, we're supposed to be the ones ruling and setting the orders and the examples. But because of the sins of our fathers, as we once were back in the reincarnation, now we're resorting to being governed by this man.
Yeah.
While he's on cocaine and opium.
Exactly.
It's not a good look. So this is the Lord paying us back for the wrongs that we did and making him jealous. And now the Lord is making us jealous by putting these base men above us.
That's right.
And then shitting on us as well.
From a great height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, brother, just let me know if your arms get tired.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, so brother, get me what else can you get me, man? Yeah, get the scripture where it says, for the Lord is a jealous power.
Okay, fine. Open room for you, his favorite scripture. Alright, so it says, Exodus 20 and verse 5. Thou sh- I'll read up to 4 because it makes more sense if I read it. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow thyself to them, down to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Yeah, because the Lord already gave the commandment through Moses, as we just read, that we're supposed to worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the great, and not to make any graven images of anything or to bow down to any other God. But what did we do? We did that 1,000 times over. So the Lord said, you know what, okay, you want to worship these gods? You want to worship the philosophies of these nations? All right, I'm going to have these nations to rule over you, and you're going to lose what I was giving you so far. And in this time, in this captivity, this is the only captivity that we've lost our heritage.
That's right.
If you can, brother, get me the book of Jeremiah 17. I think it's verse 5 or something like that. Thou shalt discontinue from my heritage that I give you. So this is the only time that we lost everything. You know?
Right, Jeremiah chapter 17 verse. Let's go, says the man that trusteth in man. I'll find it.
Could it be verse 3?
No, it wasn't there. Keep talking about it.
Yeah, so like I was saying, the Lord in this eon, in this captivity that we're serving right now, the Lord pretty much took all of everything from us, including who we are and what we should have been, so that we can get taught a lesson eventually. And how you know it was really the Spirit of the Lord, because the Lord brought us back to this knowledge and understanding of us being Israelites. Because we couldn't have got it by ourselves. Go on, brother.
Yeah, you was right. It was the first down. Jeremiah 17 verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee,
Yes.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean literally forever. It just means for a long duration of time. If you look up the word forever, the word is ayalam, which means for a time, a long time. So it was going to be for a particular point of time that the Lord was going to be angry with us. And the proof that shows that the Lord is angry with us is when these nations rise up against us. Which we can, there's a scripture on that as well. So the so-called white man ruling the earth, it's not a good thing, it's a bad thing. All right? So there you go. Yeah, so go and get me on Hosea 1, verse, chapter 10. No, chapter 10, verse 10.
Hosea 10 and 1.
No, Hosea 1 10. As in ancient Egypt, we knew we were the Israelites in ancient Egypt. During the time of Babylon, we knew we were Israelites. During the time of Persia, when we was under the Medo-Persian Empire, we knew we was Israelites. But until this world came into effect, we just lost it all. They beat the people out of us, pretty much.
Yeah.
And now we're just wondering whether we're Egyptians or not.
Ready?
You're going, brother.
Hosea 1 and verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it is said unto them,
That's a good brother.
ye are not my people,
Huh.
there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
Right. Then it shall be said unto them that ye are the sons of the living power. See, I could read spirits, man. I could read auras. People, you could tell when you can see a waiter when the waiter's a waiter, man.
What was he doing?
He was chuckling. He chuckled. He was like, yeah. Right? Come on, man. I mean, I don't mean to be so, like burnt, but it is what it is, man. And I don't really care because if you're politicians, if the fucking members of parliament on cocaine, then I could be the fuck who I want to be, man.
Exactly.
I could look at you a certain way. I could call you a weirdo right to your face. Because there's no decorum, there's no order.
Yes.
If your leaders have no order and they want to get on drugs, then there's no order.
Yeah.
I can be who I want to be.
Yeah.
Right? Go on, brother.
Right.
I don't have that no respect for people that I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know you, motherfucker. Go on, brother.
Yeah, read it again. It says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea,
Yeah.
which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Yeah.
It shall come to pass that in that place where it is said unto them, ye are not my people,
Right.
there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
Right. There shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. So when would that time come? When you would be in America and all of the places that were scattered abroad. And these places that it would be considered that we are the sons of God. So when we saw the apostles of Great Millstone and they were teaching us what they were teaching us is truth, right? Then it got found out because they had the truth. So we found out, okay, yeah, we're the Israelites now. Oh, the so-called white man is going into captivity because of the wrongs he did and all of the above. But more in particular, we know who we are. But see, when you know who you are, you know who your enemy is simultaneously. Because your enemy is your brother, which is Esau. All right, go on, brother.
Reading on, it says,
Oh, you should have did Salaki. But I should have had you do is read verse 5.
I'll jump up there.
Huh.
Verse 5 says, Hosea 1 and 5, and it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel, and she conceived again and bare a daughter, and God said unto him, call her name Loruhamah,
Yeah, which means you're going.
right? For I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but
Yeah.
I will utterly take them away.
Yeah.
But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by Yahweh their God.
Right.
I will not save them by bow, nor by sword,
Right.
nor by battle, nor by horses, nor by horsemen. And now when she had weaned Loruhamah, she conceived and bare a son. Then said God, call his name Loruhamah,
Right.
for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God.
Which the word law of mine, which means not my people. La means no, and Amai means people. So the Lord pretty much was showing for a great deal of time that we were no longer his people by taking the heritage from us. Okay? So then, as the time progressed, the Lord had mercy on us and brought our heritage back onto us. That's why it says in the book of Peter, I believe it's in the book of maybe First Peter, where it says that the Lord will serve our pure minds by way of remembrance. So that's the Lord bringing us back to who we once were. Now we know what our purpose of life is, to keep the commandments of God, which is what we're actually doing right now. Because the Lord commanded us, beginning with Yahweh Shai, to go out to the highways and the hedges, as he told his disciples, which we are his disciples, coming back to the reincarnation. Go on.
Right? Then said God, call his name Lo Amai, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God.
And I will not be your God. Go on.
Yet the children, so it's like, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Yeah.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it is said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall it be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
Yes, so the land that was brought to shame or scattered, then it would be pretty much known and fast to us that we're the children of Israel. And this is why people like Vocab Maloney, these different apologists, Christian leaders, they can't stop this truth because this is the Lord's doing. It was the Lord's doing to pass us off knowing this, and it's the Lord's doing that he has us to know this information. Because at the end of the day, the Lord wants us to be his people. All right? We was casted away from him at one time. Now he's claiming us back, and he can do that. Because ultimately what the Lord is doing right now, he's gathered the elect, and he's gathering more members of the elect, to formulating the house of David, and so that eventually, pretty much the Most High can claim his people, and he can call the Most High our power. Go on, brother, you've got something to say.
No, I was just talking to Lucky.
Okay, you're going now. Just
keep reading, yeah? Right, so verse 11 says, then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head.
Right, and appoint themselves one head. Go on.
And they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
Right, great shall be the day of Jezreel, which means the chosen seed of God. No, the seed of God, excuse me. Because the word Jiz is from the word Yaz, or if you want to say Jezreel, it's Yazra Allah.
Oh, Yazra Allah.
Yazra Allah, which means the seed of God, which we are those people. Go on, brother. The children of Israel is the seed of God.
That's the end of that chapter.
All right, that's it. All right, so go and get me Ezekiel 36. And I think you can start with verse 20. We'll read all the way down to verse 28, something like that. I think it's to verse 26. So yeah, this is why this Israelite thing is going to continue on forward, because again, this is the Lord's leading. That he brings us back to life again with knowing who we are, being stirred up.
Okay, I got you. Right, I'm going to start from 26 and 18.
Yeah.
Wherefore, let me read from 17. 17 is good, right? Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way before me was as the uncleanness of a removed woman. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land.
And how did the Lord cure his fury upon them? Because what the Lord did, the Lord rose the Babylonians against us. That was the fury of the Lord. Like I said earlier before, when the Lord has fury upon us, he raises those nations up to show his fury. Go on.
Right.
It's like when the so-called white man took us over, that was the anger of the Lord.
Yes.
Now, can we say, well, can we get them off scot-free? Can they get off scot-free? No, can't get off scot-free, because they're gonna have to pay for the things that they've done on top of that.
They forwarded the affliction.
They forwarded the affliction. And as it is written in the book of Isaiah 14:1 and onwards, it says that they shall rule over their oppressors. All right? That's what that says. Go on, brother.
Right, so it says, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way before me was as the uncleanness of a removed
What did they do to defile the land? By worshiping these other gods.
The odious works of witchcraft.
Yep.
Like profaning the Sabbath, not taking the laws seriously, sacrificing, instead of really repenting, just thinking, oh well, we can do this and I'll just sacrifice what will be good, taking the Lord for granted.
Yeah.
Anyway, reading on, it says, wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it. I had scattered them among the heathen, they were dispersed through the countries, according to their way, and according to their doings I judged them.
Yeah, so he dispersed us from the countries. Now you have a bunch of Amalekite bastards over there. It's claiming to be us. And we're ousted out of our land because of what our sins. As we will always remind you, those that are watching going, brother.
You used the right word, you said Amalekite bastards. The scriptures say a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Right? And it says, and when they entered into the heathen, wherever they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said to them, these are the people of Yahweh, and are gone forth out of his land.
Right.
But I had pity for mine holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen.
Exactly, because remember, that's why once again he took the heritage from us. Because when we were known as the Israelites, what was it that we were doing? We were actually professing the quiet contrary of being Israelites. Because what does it mean to be an Israelite? You know, we talk about this all the time. It means to be a prince of God. Yeah. Or, in other words, you could say to be a son of God. So how can we claim that name and endue the quiet contrary to that name?
Yep. We're putting shame upon Yahweh's name.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. So the Lord said, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna set you in this particular captivity, and the rulers that are gonna rule over you, they're gonna hide this information from you. And they're gonna call you something else. You're gonna be called bywords and proverbs rather than your actual name itself. Go on, brother. That's in the book of Deuteronomy if you can, brother, real quick.
Yep.
If you can get Deuteronomy 28 that night.
On 15?
No, get to the main verse where it talks about how you would be considered a proverb in the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah. Just real quick and then go back to the original scripture now. Just bear with us, brothers and a few sisters that may be watching this live.
Right, Deuteronomy 28 verse 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword among all nations, wherever Yahweh shall lead thee.
Yeah. And that's what we've become. We've become the names that they've called us and they've claimed for us to be. And we've also upheld these names as well. But now we're in a time where we transitioned back to what we should have been. And what are we? Ultimately, we're the Israelites now. And we're finding out why the Lord did all of this stuff to us. It's just a beautiful thing. So now let's go back to what you was reading before.
Right. Back in Ezekiel 36 from verse 20, and when they entered into the heathen, wherever they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said to them, these are the people of Yahweh, and are gone forth out of his land.
That these are the people of Yahweh that they went forth out of his land. What made them the people of Yahweh? Meaning because they had the name Israel. Okay? We were considered the sons of him. So the Lord said, you know, let's do away with that. We're going to make these people are going to start walking around now in this captivity, calling themselves black people, which there's no such thing as an ancient group of black people. There's no such thing as ancient white people at all.
Exactly.
Right? So the Lord did away with all of this truth so that we can deal with what we're dealing with right now because of the wrongs that we've done. So, okay, and I'm going to say this as well, right? If we pretty much had to experience this shit for the wrongs that we've done, the curses in that, right? How in the fuck are these so-called white people going to get away from the wrongs that they've done?
Exactly.
You can't, again, as I always like to say, you can't make sense of that shit. All right? So, sometime or another, which is right around the corner, these Edomites, they're going to pay, man. And they're starting to pay right now, little and little.
That's right.
But they're going to pay big when we have their foot up, have our foot up down. And they didn't even know that they actually didn't even look. We're going to get that scripture too sooner or later. Go on now.
So like, if I may say, one of the reasons why Esau don't believe in God is because if they believe in God, they have to believe that there's going to be some kind of, you retribution for the wickedness they've done on the earth.
Yeah.
So therefore, by not believing in a God and being an atheist, they think that they can somehow dodge having to pay for the iniquities which they've done. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of Edomites, when you start to bring up spiritual matters to them or to start to work the Bible, they start to look all uncomfortable, man. Like they've got like flipping, what do they call it? They don't look comfortable and have to get out of town, you know.
Irritable and
Yeah. They don't want to deal with no Most High, man, because they know the Most High is going to fuck them up. So reading on, it says, "But I had pity for mine holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whether they went. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus saith the Lord God, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whether ye went."
Yeah, so what the Lord is going to do, the Lord is going to have to glorify His name in the sense of delivering us in a more of a highly miraculous fashion, so that His name could be revered once again and respected. Go on.
And it says, "And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them, and the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, saith the Lord God."
Right, and the heathen shall know that He is the Most High. Because remember, the Lord wants to show that He is the only God. And there's no other gods, there's no other religions besides Him, but Him alone. So that's what the Lord is going to show when He makes a second return. And He's going to show the so-called white man that there are no gods either. Because they think that they have their own will and they have their own belief systems. That sorcery and witchcraft is going to get them out of the position they're in. But that sorcery and witchcraft only goes so far. And it does go far in the sense of pretty much backfiring up against them. As we're now finding out, or as we've just found out, that the politicians is on cocaine.
Yep.
Members of parliament. So, I mean, that shows you that the witchcraft and sorcery didn't even get them that far. It got them nowhere. Resorting into cocaine. That's what it's like. It did get them somewhere. It got them in the sense of resorting to cocaine and drugs and smoking that opium, whatever. Right? That's what it's got them.
They're feeling troubled in their spirits, man. Like you said the other day, the Most High sending them apparitions and stuff like that. So they're doing what they can to stay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
to
that.
stay sane, innit? They're trying to do what they can to stay above water.
Yeah.
But really, they're bugging out, man.
Man, I tell you what.
It's a good time to be an Israelite in the truth.
Absolutely right. And it's a bad time to be a so-called white man.
Yep.
The so-called white man.
Right, so it says, and I will sanctify my great name, which is profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them, and the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, saith the Lord God. And when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
And then I will be sanctified in you before their eyes. So the Lord is going to show what He's made out of in the eyes of the world by sending His Son back. If you can, brother, get Jeremiah 16, verse 14.
Jeremiah chapter 16 from verse 14 reads, Therefore behold, the days cometh, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But that Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither He had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers.
So in other words, the deliverance which is going to be in this time is going to be far more miraculous. So much so that the deliverance that occurred in ancient Egypt will not be much spoken about. But this deliverance. Alright? Because when you really think about it, this is going to be the deliverance where the Lord is going to re-magnify His name once again. Alright? So there's we can only but imagine how deliverance is going to be. And how miraculous it's going to be. That's what I wanted to say. So I want to look up this word in Ezekiel 36. If you can, brother, if you can go back to that same verse you had before.
Yeah, can't read it again.
Yeah.
So I was reading Ezekiel. I was reading Ezekiel 36 and roughly around verse 22 and 23.
Because he said he wanted to sanctify his name. No, so yeah, 23. You can start from 22.
Alright, okay, so it says, therefore, say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, I do not this for your sake, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. And I will sanctify my great name.
I want to look at this word sanctify.
Sanctify, right?
Yeah, take something. If you want to say something, you can say a couple of words.
Okay, yeah. So the Most High, his name means a lot, man. And let me break this down for you. Let's imagine you took a wife, okay? What happens when a man takes a wife? The wife takes the husband's name. So let's say you're living with your wife and you're going out to work every day. And your woman's going out and she's dealing with the postman and, you know, the bank manager and all these kind of other men. And you come home now and someone knocks the door and says, oh, hey, I saw your wife the other day. And you're like, yeah, where'd you see her? She was talking to the bank manager. And you'll be thinking to yourself, well, what was my wife doing talking to the bank manager? Then someone else comes over and says, I saw your wife the other day. I saw her out with the postman. And you're thinking, what's my wife doing out with the postman? She's supposed to be my wife, under my name. But if she's running around with these other men, she's polluting my name. So therefore, all these people in the community are looking at me now as if I'm a fool because my name's being dragged through the mud by a woman who didn't do her part in respecting the name that was bestowed upon her. So therefore, the Most High likens the whole nation of Israel likened unto a woman. So we have played the harlot by taking the Lord's name and dragging it through the mud. That's why the Most High caused us to go into these brutal captivities under our enemies and to discontinue from our heritage. So now when the Most High is turning his favor back to us, he's saying, I'm not doing it for your sake, the house of Israel, I'm doing it for mine own name's sake. And that's actually true because the Most High also has to fulfill his promises.
And what does his wife take on that as a man? His last name?
Yeah, that's right. So the Most High has to sanctify his name, as you're going to look up there, the word there. The Most High has to put respect back upon his name. So he had to do what he did to the nation in order to achieve that.
And when you look up the word sanctify, the word is Kodash, which means to consecrate, sanctify, prepare, dedicate, be hallowed, be holy, be sanctified, be separate, to be set apart. So he has to separate himself from the rest of these other gods included. That's why he also says in Deuteronomy 28, not 28, I think it's like 33, where he said, there's no other God besides me. So he has to make that quite clear once again. Because in ancient Egypt, when we got delivered, he made it very clear at that point. So then Moses came with the second book, the law, which is in Deuteronomy, and that's what was said. So now he's going to make it clear again that there's no other God but besides him. All right? So that's how he's going to separate himself from all of the rest of his gods that he was worshiping. To be hallowed, consecrate, taboo, to show oneself sacred, majestic, to be honored, to be treated as sacred. And when Yahweh comes back, what is he coming back with? The majestic power. That's right. And he's coming back in his time to destroy the so-called white man, beginning with his power structure. That's what the Lord is coming back to do. And that's something that we always talk about because that's what's important anyway. That's the most important thing to us is to know and to understand that can very well happen. And it's going to happen. Because in order for our kingdom to be set up, this shit got to go down.
That's right. Can I just say something? That's a good point because think about it, right? Yahushua is coming back as pertaining to Isaiah chapter 66 verse 15 to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire, right? So imagine if you was a soldier working for the British military or the American military and then you find out that your leaders are snotting coke when Yahushua is coming back to make war with them. Imagine that your leaders who are supposed to be like getting you ready for the battle, preparing you for what's to come, they're out of it, man. So, I mean, come on, man. This is
They've
beyond
already-
ridiculous.
But then again, brother, they've already lost. Why they thought they're getting started? 'Cause,
Exactly.
I mean, how could you, if you're getting ready for war, man, that'd be the last thing to do, is to get yourself drunk or under the influence of some other drug.
Exactly.
They've lost.
It's a balancing act, isn't it?
Yeah, brother. Continue on with what you're reading.
Can't. So back in the book of Ezekiel 36. So verse 23 I've read. Verse 24 says, "For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries
Yes.
and bring you into your own land."
Right, and that's the elect. And that's how we're also going to be set apart. Holy. Because what the Lord is going to do, because we're really already holy as it stands right now. If you look at us. We don't do what the rest of the world does. We don't go out to clubs and party and bullshit. We don't do all that stuff. We don't watch the stuff that these people get up into watching. So we're already holy in a sense, but the Lord is going to make us physically holy by setting us apart from the rest of these other nations. And we're not going to call ourselves by these heathenistic names either. We're going to call ourselves Israelites. We're not going to be calling ourselves black people, Egyptians, and these silly little names that our enemies have given us. We're going to revert back to calling ourselves the sons of God. So in that regard, we are considered holy. All right? Go on, brother.
Verse 25. "And then I will sprinkle clean water upon you."
What is the clean water? The clean water is the word. Go on.
Yep. "Then I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you."
Yeah. And the ultimate reason why we're going to be cleansed is because of the death that Yahweh Shai had to go through. The cross that he had to go through to be put to death, and his blood was pretty much casted upon our sins. So we've been made by the cleansing of the washing of the word and also through his blood. So now when it's our time for salvation to occur, Lord willing, we're the ones that are the elect, which were given mercy to be saved, then we're going to be saved. Because the Lord have already pretty much did what he had to do so that we can be delivered at the very end. Going up.
Yep. And it says, "And a new heart will I give you,
Yeah.
and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart from out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh."
Yeah, so in other words, the Lord is not going to have us in a stubborn mind. In other words, being stiff-necked. We're going to be easy towards the Lord by keeping his commandments. Because he's going to make us to do such a thing. We're going to be solely created to do what's right. Just like back in the ancient world, what is it? I would say in the beginning of time, from like the time of Adam, especially the sons of God, because you had three branches of men. You had the sons of the right, you had the sons of the wicked, and you also had the sons of men. So the sons of the righteous men, they already had the law within them. It was oral, it wasn't out. So the Lord is going to revert to bringing the law into our inward parts, making it oral once again, and therefore we can follow through towards the Most High's ways, naturally. Like it says in the book of, if you can, brother, give me the book of Romans, I think it's chapter 10, where it says that Israel is zealous, but not according to knowledge.
Lord, but not
That's it
according
right
to
there.
knowledge.
They have a zeal for the Lord, but not according to knowledge.
Yeah, I've got it here. This is Romans 10, I'll read from verse 1. "Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God is that Israel is for Israel, that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge."
Not according to knowledge. So we're going to be zealous unto the Most High, and we're going to have the knowledge within us to keep those commandments. It's not like how it's going to be like how it was at the time and how it is now, when you have our people that are zealous for God, but they don't have the knowledge. All of our people are going to be under that umbrella of that righteousness that the Heavenly Father gave unto us. And that's what we're transitioning to. We're not, like, you got certain Christians that will say, "Oh, we're in the new covenant." No, we're not in the new covenant. We're transitioning into the new covenant, which is mentioned in Ezekiel 36. Continue to read that, bro.
Can't. Picking up where I left off, it says, Right, for I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I put in you, and a new spirit will I put within you. I'll take away the stony heart from out of your flesh, and I'll give you a heart of flesh, and I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them.
Yeah, so the Lord is going to give us the spirit to keep his ways. So just imagine that. Everything that you do is all going to be based on righteousness, and his righteousness. That's going to be an amazing thing. So you're never ever going to transgress the law, never in your life. You're going to be born with the intent to keep the laws and commandments. So when you have a people like that, that's ruling over the earth, what kind of a state the earth is going to be? It's going to be under the righteousness of the Heavenly Father himself.
That's right.
Just like how you have it right now, it's the opposite of that. Why? Because you have a bunch of crooks, natural born crooks that are in power. A bunch of so-called white boys, criminals that have been power, snorting cocaine in the parliament. That's why the world's a mess. If you can, brother, get the Ecclesiastes 3, verse 14.
Can't.
I think it's verse maybe verse 12 or something like that.
Can't. Ecclesiastes 3 from verse 12 will say,
You know where it says, Lord, how can you shrink something that's crooked?
oh, let me find it for them.
Yeah, you know, so I mean, that's why the world is a mess, because you have a bunch of natural born criminals and crooks that are ruling the earth, and it's these so-called white ones, these Edomites, that have to act like they got to do it together, and they're the ones sitting and tolling the rules.
Yeah.
But they're not carrying on their own rules. They're breaking their own. They're making the rules that they're breaking. That shows you that you can't have these people ruling over you, man. How the hell are you going to make rules and break your own rules? Come on, man. Just asking for dissension right there.
Right. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 13. Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which ye have made crooked?
Yeah, you can't turn Esau to be right. I mean, right now we're talking about the ills that Esau's done, but really Esau is just doing what Esau's doing. Just being a natural born crook as he is. White ones, you know? That's just what they are. They're made to be crooks. You can't make them to be righteous. No, they're going to be wicked until they can't be wicked no more. And they're going to be wicked into their dying days. Even into the kingdom of heaven, even though we can screw up the ass, kicking them in their skulls, they're still going to be wicked.
Yep. They're still going to have their desires to be tongue-kissing dogs and shit like that. You have to beat it all out of them, man.
Yeah.
But we'll never be able to get it beaten all the way. That's why they're going to be destroyed in the end.
And that's right.
Yeah.
You go back to what you had.
Yep. And I'm just thinking, as I'm standing here, we've got some trees in front of us. If you used to take one of the branches of the tree, you couldn't make it as straight as a ruler, because the Most High made it to be crooked. It's the same with Esau. That's like a little cow.
White ones. You can't make them. You can't turn them straight. That's why they're telling Jake, oh, you know, it would be a revolutionary act if two so-called black men got together. Because what they really want Jake to do, they want Jake to be as corrupt as them.
Yes.
It makes them look bad, you see.
Yeah.
Right? So if we can get Jake to, because we're supposed to be the low guys, right? So if the low guys are making them look crazy, they got a problem with that. They got a problem.
Yep.
We can't have that.
Right, so back in Ezekiel 36, I got to verse 27. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgments and do them. And you shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and you shall be my people, and I will be your God.
So the same way the Lord made Esau crooked, we're going to be the ones being made straighter. So when those laws and those commandments are going to be in us, we're going to be perfect. Like it says in the book of Genesis about Jacob, how he was a plain man dwelling in tents. Now if you look at that word plain, the word is stamayim, which means perfect. So we were set to be perfect. But the Lord is going to make us even more perfect, if that even makes sense. You know? And the rest of the nations are going to want to be like this and desire our ways, and to follow our ways. That's in the book of Isaiah chapter 2. Go on, brother.
Right, and I will save you from all your uncleanness, and I will pour forth the corn and will increase it and will lay no famine upon you.
Right, and I will lay, and there would be no reason for us to experience a famine because we're going to be doing everything the right way. Going up.
Right? And I will multiply the fruit of the tree and the increase of the field, that ye shall receive no more reproach of famine among the heathen.
And you see, this is the difference between doing right and wrong. You see, when you do wrong, you don't get anything. You suffer.
Yeah.
You become servants. All of these other nations come after you. The fury of the Lord is shown to these other nations. But when you do right, there's an abundance, there's multiplication of things that you desire. And that's what we're going to get in the book of Isaiah chapter 60. Where all these nations are going to bring their goods unto us. We're going to be abundant. Why? Because of the righteous deeds that we did in the dark world that we're living in right now. Go on, brother.
Do you want to read on this more or go to Isaiah 69?
You can go on to Isaiah 60 right now.
I've got a quick one.
Oh, you
Just,
got a
just,
quick
just a
one
quick,
as
quick
well.
one, right? Just concerning what you just said, Brother Kushan. Sirach 27 and 26 says, whosoever diggeth a pit shall fall therein,
Yeah.
and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein.
Yeah. And I mean, like these politicians, people that's in power today, really, the politicians ain't really in power. It's really the Rothschilds and those kind of folks. They're the ones that's in the real power. The banking elite. But that's how you're supposed to be chased out of
Yeah. Quite often as a thief, innit?
Yeah, so I mean, like these powerful figureheads that's in the position of power, man. And I forgot what I was saying, what I was about to say. Read that again, so I can recap my
When you do
thought.
bad, it comes back upon you. You're saying something like that. When you do wickedness, it comes back upon you. You're saying something to that effect. I think that's what the precept that you read.
No, but you was
Yeah, I read that, but then you read a precept that made him say that.
No, because you was reading something. Because I said that, but I was saying something else as well. I want to go back and say that.
All right, let me get it back then. 7 and Proverbs, Sirach 27 and 26 says, whosoever diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein.
Yeah, and that's just the thing, because these politicians, man, yeah, that's what I was saying. I was saying people that's in power, especially the shadow government, they're telling these guys what to do. They got the powers that you do see what to do. And they're telling people to get these UV shots and everything. And they really want mass death because they want to maintain humanity under 500 million. A lot of these people are advocates for the population because that's on the agenda. But guess what? With all of that, they're going to be put to death. Some of these guys are going to have to die. And pretty much most of them are going to be delivered through the destruction by those underground bunkers so that we can take them and put them into captivity instead of that. So that's going to be their way of death. You know? Go on.
There's a bit more?
Go.
Yeah,
Go
mate.
on.
Go on.
You going to say something?
No, I was just going to say to quote the elder, quote the scripture regarding the elder saying, it says we're going to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron.
27. He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him, and he shall not know wherein it cometh.
Yeah, because they're all about trouble. So trouble is going to fall upon them eventually. They're not going to try at all. They're not going to try when it comes to this legal system, this agenda. And that's why they're like kind of, backing up a little bit and they're nervous and they're taking the drugs to showcase their nervousness and how they really feel about it, man. Because they know the response is going to be when they forward this agenda. And it's not going to be good at all. And these crazy ass motherfucking Edomite boys out there, they're going to go crazy at 10 down the street.
Lord willing.
And they really should, because they really have nothing to lose. Come on, your politicians on cocaine. Yeah. What do you have to lose? Oh, man. The members of parliament, people like Michael Gove, people like fucking Dominic Raab and what's these other niggas' names, man? Pretty Patel, Matt Hancock. All of these cokeheads, man.
Yeah.
Go on, brother.
And don't just think it's the Conservatives as well. It's the Labour Party and all them too, man.
Of course. And Keir Starmer, that motherfucker.
Yeah, that guy, never liked me, that guy.
Yeah. He's full of shit. All of them are full of shit, but he just got more of a full of shit look to him.
Yeah.
But as I said, we elect.
Right, you finished that? You got more?
One last one, yeah. Mockery and reproach are from the proud, but vengeance as a lion shall lay in wait for them.
Vengeance as a lion shall wait for them, and the Lord can't wait to get a piece of their head, man. I tell you, we can't wait to get a piece of their head when the Lord gives us that spiritual power. And I've been thinking about spiritual power, and I've been thinking to myself, man, anyhow I get a little bit of that spiritual power. Not a little bit, but the full spiritual power. The first crop of people that I'm coming to get is these jackass Negroes of mine, man.
Oh, yeah, they're going to come for your own people, yeah?
I'm going to have to come for them. And then I'm going to get these Edomites eventually.
That'd be a mercy killing if you get them out the way as well.
Just get them out the way, because you get them on nerves as a big man.
Yeah. You know, slacking, not to change the subject, but there's been a lot of judgment going on this week on 2/3 Jakes. Like, you know, Nick Cannon's baby is dead. You know, it's like, I saw a video from a brother, I think was it the brother Chris Fry? Can't remember. But he's basically saying, or it might have been another brother, so lucky if I'm misquoting.
This is the brother from Baltimore.
It might be.
It's pretty good shot.
But he was basically saying, how are you going to name your son Zen? You know what I mean? That's like, Zen is like some tied to all them other like mystery religions. Like, you don't get into that shit. But yeah, he came out a couple of years back trying to say that, yeah, we're the Israelites, but they put his ass in check.
Oh yeah.
Back when he was wearing the turban and shit. Now it seems like he's back in the world with his lineup and shit. And his child's dropping dead. Are you surprised? You're not doing what the Lord commands.
They gave him his job back, and they gave him another series.
More shows,
More shows. And maybe they say to him, you know, we're just talking as men. You know, you might have to give up
sacrifice.
Possibly, but either way, the Most High judged that youth there.
Yeah.
Wicked youth, you know what I mean?
Even the rapper Slim for 100.
Yeah, I was just about to mention,
Say again?
You know, the rapper Slim for 100. He passed away too. They said his own blood brother shot him, whatever. But I think, as you just said, I think he was a blood sacrifice, man, because he died at the age of 33. And there was a football player, NFL football player, that died at the age of 33 too.
Yeah, he got killed in prison.
Yeah. That's just my thing. I personally believe it was a blood sacrifice. Because that's what you gotta do. Like when you get up into that group and you don't play ball game or whatever the case may be, however you are, right? They can have you as a blood sacrifice. Or you have to pretty much sacrifice a family member to get up in that space. Like Kanye West did to his mother, you know?
Bruno Mars did something similar as well. All of them were doing that shit, and they don't get to where they get to just by being a good singer. Because Jake in the Hood's a great singer, man. Or a great actor, or a great ball player. You got to do your dirt, man, to get up into the upper echelons of society.
I mean, you got a lot of talent in the hood. A lot of talent.
No, that's right. And I was going to say, when you get there, a lot of them celebrities, their worst fear is becoming poor again. So they'll do whatever they can in order to try and stay within that arena.
They become accustomed to that standard of living. So it's hard for them to, it's like they're addicted to it. If you've had a job that you paid a certain amount of money and then you got to go to a lower paid job, it's like, it's a come down, isn't it? So,
and that's why Esau can manipulate our people so well, because a lot of our people are coming from abject poverty where, you know, we've got no hope. Like people at one time, there was that guy singing on that singing show. And he's singing his heart out and doing all this kind of shit just because he's desperately trying to get out of the hood, man. So it's real sad what the state of our people is.
It's sad, it's very,
very sad.
And that's why these guys had to do all kinds of stuff just to maintain their spot in the limelight. Because, you know, they don't want to go back to where they came from. But at the end of the day, man, like, you know, this world right here has to end. Because it's all based on, ultimately as well, I want to change the topic a little bit. It's all involved in the sorcery and witchcraft as well. You know what I mean? And what the water was going into was he was actually, really, the elder required him to speaking on the cross. And then the water, you know, I heard him talk about it as well. When you had these witches and warlocks.
Alice Bailey
and
Madame Blavatsky.
All of these top level witches and warlocks. And you had to get this other guy too. Which he was in relation with President Bush, son Bush. Aleister Crowley,
Oh, right.
right? And he was also based in the States too. So the top tier witches and warlocks are in America, which showcases that America is that landmass of wickedness, which is also known as Babylon the Great. But that's what really moves the society. It's all social witchcraft. That's what you have to get into if you want to make it in this life, in this world. You gotta tap into some form of social witchcraft because it's really the Masonic Brotherhood that controls the system in totality. You gotta get with that. If you want to be a success, you want to have a successful business, or you want to own, a shop which could possibly be worth billions of dollars, you gotta get down with them guys. Because them are the guys that's gonna get you to that level.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I can say, young Pharaoh, right? He was kind of in a little bit, but he started to speak. He was speaking against what the Amalek was doing.
Yeah.
He lost his YouTube channel. Now he's getting arrested, and now he's bugging out. I through the spirit, I think I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think they've done put a curse on him.
Of course.
Amalek.
And you know what? Too. You know what I'm gonna say as well. You know what? What I'm gonna put out there as well. You know those Egyptologists?
Yeah.
And them guys are probably one of the most biggest masons you've ever known because Egyptology is actually Satanism on a whole different level.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at Aleister Crowley, why was Aleister Crowley known as one of the wickedest men on the earth? Because he actually mastered Egyptology.
Yes.
He had the pyramid on top of his head to show
And the eye as well, yeah.
And he had the eyes on Horus. So to be an Egyptologist, ultimately, it's all Satanism. But my man Aleister Crowley, he mastered that shit. He mastered it. So you got these Negroes talking about, oh yeah, Egyptology this, Egyptology that. Well, you're nothing but a Satanist, bro.
That's right.
That's what you are.
Yeah. Jabari, Sarah Seti. I used to watch.
Yeah, Sarah
before I got into all the
Spaghetti,
spiritual stuff, I passed through a lot of that Egyptology man, them. Yeah, Sarah Seti. And I was thinking, man, them man know some shit. But now, man, now I know they're low level, man.
Yeah,
and a lot of them are bugging out now anyway.
Yeah, them dudes is nothing but witches, man. That's who controls this world. A bunch of witches and warlocks. A bunch of filthy, abominable motherfuckers, man.
Yeah.
And these are the same dudes as well, which is also part of Egyptology. They also engage in sodomy too.
Oh yeah.
Sodomy's a big thing of Egyptology.
Yeah, that's one of their gods, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do they call there's a name they give the little boy's anus.
Oh my
What
god.
do they call it?
I think it's the eyes of a Horus once again.
Oh no.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh no.
But
Because they believe that if you have sex with a boy in his anus, you can get spiritual, sexual powers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Captain Tazara, he actually goes into that as well. He always brings, when they have the debate, he always goes into that.
Yeah.
That what it's all about.
if I may make a point, see, a lot of these celebrities think that in order to escape the curses, they need to get a come up in these sort of society. When really that's not how it works. Really, you should turn to the Bible because the Bible says, and then you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So that's really what our people should be doing, not looking for flipping a deal from Esau, because them deals, they only end up bad, man. If you look at all the biggest entertainers and stuff, the ending for them is always the same.
Yeah.
Look at Michael Jackson, look at Whitney Houston, look at Prince. You know, look at guys like Tupac. I mean, how did it end for him? Didn't end well, man. They all sold their soul, and in the end, you know, they had to pay the price.
Yeah, that's how that goes. Because it's not a good start, so it's not going to be a good end.
Exactly.
When it's all said and done. Yeah. So get me get me the scripture. I think it's in Isaiah 40, maybe 47, where it talks about the multiple prognosticators.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going into a topic of showing that this society, the people that run the society, they're a bunch of witches. They deal with all kind of sorcery and witchcraft. This is why a lot of people nowadays are doing things that they never thought they could do back 80 years ago, or even 50 years ago. Right? I'm talking about being a fucking free pig sodomite.
Yeah, now it's been normalized.
Yeah.
And now you're the one who's wrong if you speak out against it, so they say.
Yeah.
That's the turning of things upside down, man.
Right.
Isaiah 47 verse 13. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from those things that shall come upon thee.
Yeah. And what's going to come upon them? The judgment of the Lord. And all of that sorcery that these dudes are doing, it's only going to amount to something that's not going to be good towards his people. And it's just going to lead the Lord to want to come back even more to destroy this place. Because even among the Levites, right, in Haiti, they know this, man. They know if they don't do, if they're doing their witchcraft and their sorcery, right, it don't end well. One guy told me this when I was 18. And what you brothers in England call secondary school, but we call it high school in America. He was saying, man, that, you know, like sometimes, most of the times, the witchcraft that is done, if it's not done right, then it can backfire. He was saying, which makes sense. You know, which makes a lot of sense. So, and you know what I'm also thinking? I'm thinking that a lot of these crackers are on that right now because their life is not really operating the way that it should. They're not getting the jobs they used to have. They're not living as successful as they have. So now what they're tapping into that sorcery and that witchcraft. You know how I know this because I was trying to get some pregnancies in men, and it's actually selling out quite a bit.
Okay, right,
Yeah, and they've had to raise the prices up because it's probably in high demand now.
Okay, now I've got some at home, you know. Yeah, because boy, what I did, I bought the first lockdown, and then it opened up again. I said, boy, you know what? If the next one comes, let me buy stock up on that.
Yeah.
The most
it's selling out.
You know.
Yeah, and they're using the beads and all of that stuff, so they're tapping on onto that left-hand side. Because really what these devils would like to do, they would like to join the group, but a lot of the times the group ain't really going to just take any old body out there like that. You know, they're going to recruit a certain amount of people as they can, but they're not going to take everybody. Everybody can't join the group. But they're hoping that they can tap into that side of things and they can get their shit together. But it's only going to make things even worse.
Yeah, because that's the curse going upon them, and the soothsayers. You read it earlier, innit? Isaiah.
Prognosticators, the stargazers.
Yeah.
Their power, they're losing. They're going to lose their power. They're losing their power.
Huh.
Yeah.
I tell you what, brother. You didn't read it again, but read down a couple of verses.
Okay. Isaiah 47 from 13 again. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from all those things that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, and they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame.
Yeah, this empire is still going to get burned to flames. So I mean, it really doesn't matter if you're under sorcery and the witchcraft. And I mean, they've been doing it, like the scripture says. They've been doing it abundantly. So now they're worried by the multitude of their sorceries. But they're still going to wind up being burned on fire by these missiles. If you notice, their sorcery and witchcraft have to stop these missiles from piling up.
Exactly.
If you notice, because eventually the Lord is going to use these bad boys to waste this empire, beginning with America. And this place is already through and out, man. Come on, you can see it. Look at Joe Biden walking with blind men leading him. And he's saying, oh, well, I don't know where I'm at. And then you got the politicians in Parliament, the House of Parliament, snorting cocaine. I have to keep bringing that back up to showcase that we're in the end of Esau's rulership.
That's right.
These white boys can't hack it together. These politicians they don't got it together. They've lost it, man. They've lost the plot entirely.
Imagine that they're at crunch time for their empire. They're sitting there
Don't
snorting
coke.
coke.
They're just sitting there. My man's on opium too. We got one guy's on base, another nigga's on opium. Come on, man.
You know, when you drink, if you haven't drunk for a little while, then you drink wine. I know if you keep drinking it, you kind of get immune to it, right? But when you pull back and then you go back again, you're supposed to have that all the time, but because of this corrupted wine that you got, that's, you know, you got to use a bit of wisdom with it, but it numbs you. So it's the same thing with coke. Coke is pure coke. They call it angel dust.
Yeah.
So that shit will make you be walking. You won't feel no pain.
Yeah, and you know
you be in heaven.
And makes you feel euphoric too, like you're unstoppable. Like can't nobody do nothing to you. And the thing with these drinks out here, man, these drinks is dumbasses. You know why? Because these drinks don't research anything. These chicks are out here worshiping Esau, but these Edomites that you're worshiping are on drugs.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You can't make this shit up. Heritage Jake want to be like Esau, but Esau's on the coke, man.
Can't.
And the thing with these so-called white guys, man, these Edomites and these white women in general, they're the biggest drug takers in the world.
Yep.
They like to point the finger and say, oh yeah, look at these blacks. Look what these black people are doing. You know, they selling the drugs and they're on drugs and all of this other stuff. But they're the biggest drug sellers, dealers, and abusers.
Yes.
And they're showcasing it because the Prime Minister's on it too. Allegedly, as I'm going to say again, I allegedly believe, or we allegedly believe that this is what's going on. Because we're reading articles on how they were found traces of cocaine in the House of Parliament.
Can't.
So that's what we're going off on.
In places where high members of parliament only had access to.
Exactly.
Those toilets where they need security clearance and passes to get
Exactly. So can't any old raggedy looking Edomite get a pass in that parliament. You gotta have a special pass. So if they're able to still find trace.
Imagine that. Imagine Preeti Patel going into the flipping toilet, putting the toilet lid down and doing lines of coke on the toilet lid down. That's what these people are fucking about, man.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be running the country, telling us what to do. Shit, man.
Yeah, they're telling you what to do, brother, but they're under the influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of. That's
Come
part,
on, man.
Con.
That's like a homeless dude that's on heroin telling the nigga what to do.
Yeah.
Can't make this shit up. Well,
Yeah.
say something.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
but it's what it is. It's like that because Esau, he says he that is younger than I, right? Is ruling over us, right? Words to that effect. But that's where the thrill is. The thrill is being able to be deceptive, isn't it? Because when you was younger, when I used to smoke cigarette, the thrill of being able to go around the corner and smoke a cigarette and come in like, and be all innocent and act like you're a good person. There's a thrill in that. That's Esau all over. We learned that from Esau anyway. Hiding it, being able to be thinking that you're being clever. There's a thrill in being wicked. You know, and you think that you're getting away with it, and then you come up, stand up, and you look like you're legitimate, and you speak with very eloquently. That's Esau, and he gets a buzz off of that, man.
Being a deceiver, that's his nature.
Yeah.
Even Boris Johnson, he knows he's a bumbling fool, a clown. He gets off in knowing that basically he's in that position of power, knowing that he should be in that position of power. He gets a feel of that, man. Going on, you've got something.
Right, yeah, so reading back on in the verse I was in, continuing on, it says, stop, it's like a, behold, Isaiah 47:14, behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame.
Yeah, because their power, like I was watching the video with the Apostle Barton, and he was basically talking about the video that the brother was doing. And basically the power of Esau is pretty much Satan. Satan is the power of Esau. But with all of that power that Satan has, Satan don't got enough power to stop with the Most High's programs. And on top of that, he's governed by the Creator. Satan does what he has to do by the command of the Creator. So if the Lord wants America to be destroyed today or tomorrow, it can be destroyed. And they will be destroyed eventually. Great Britain is going to be destroyed, nuclearized. America's going to be destroyed, nuclearized. And that's the way it's going to go down because it's already written in Bible prophecy. The words of God, it's written. Now, can a pastor tell you this? No, because he couldn't see the Bible to save his life. All right? They don't understand the Bible like we do. The real pastors are going to be found on the streets.
That's right.
The real pastors are going to tell you the truth. They're not going to sugarcoat it for the sake of making money.
Yep.
They're going to tell you the absolute truth as to what this Bible is really saying to you, because we're seeing it from a pure mind perspective. Like the scripture says, I will still up your pure minds. So the pure minds of men are being stirred up to seeing this truth and what it is, this Bible, and giving it to you from a pure standpoint.
And not being partial with the truth and hiding things which don't profit your congregation.
Exactly.
Like there's certain scriptures that then pastors in the churches would never touch with a 10-foot pole because they know it's going to hurt their bottom line, which is their pocket, because they're preaching for filthy lucre's sake.
And they want to get them women too.
Yeah.
Come on, brother.
Apostle Tahar gave the account at last week's camp where I think they were going up in the church years ago and teaching, and there were some pretty women in there, and the pastor was like, "You guys got to leave, man. You guys got to leave," because they were jealous of the fact that the women were actually listening
Can't teach.
to the apostles.
I'm not going to let you teach my congregation.
Yeah.
That's the pastor's biggest concern. my mum, I used to go to my mum, when I used to go to my mum, and she was around the pastor's house, and we used to talk about Christmas and all that, and you know what? He would say, you know what, you're right about everything behind my mum when my mum's not there.
Okay.
He would agree with everything I said about the Christmas thing is all pagan. But his main concern is how he presents himself in front of the congregation.
Yeah.
Because he wants to keep the congregation, man.
May I also say this as well? There's too many of our women going up into, like you said, your mum going up into pastor's house.
Yeah.
Should not be doing that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be doing that, going up into another man's house.
When she was alive,
Even if there's nothing happening, which there isn't, it's not appropriate for a woman to be going up into another man's house like she's a married woman, you know? Because
that's a Benjamite thing, man.
I know. I've got aunts who do similar things like that. And I think they're doing the work of the ministry, and really, you should be taking care of your husband at home.
One time, that's like I say, I went there to cuss him out.
Oh, really?
I didn't say why I went round there. More than once to cuss him out because, and my brother, he said I was a bit more.
So brother, you cussed the pastor out?
Yeah.
Oh no, you're going to go to hell for that. You've done the wrong.
Listen, one day I do a video on it, or when I'm talking.
Hey, you should. I'll watch that. I'll promote that video, brother.
Huh?
You did a video about that, man.
Can't.
Yeah, cursed the pastor out.
The part about the money and all that, about the charging my mother money to get lifts to the church and all that. Man, there's things I could say, and the Spirit will bring everything out anyway. But the Spirit does bring everything out, and he told me that I'm more sober. I mentioned to you about my brother before camp.
Yeah.
He said I'm more sober than my brother. So he didn't want to deal with my brother.
Okay.
You know, even though my brother, you know, he's not in the truth. You know, I don't know, but he was about justice. Let me say it like that.
Okay.
It was all about justice. Yeah.
It was all about that girl, you know. Keep going.
Well, I'll keep reading. So reading on, it says, "Behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, and they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame."
Yeah, they're not going to deliver themselves from anything. That sorcery and that witchcraft that they're doing ain't delivering them from the drugs that they're smoking. So I mean, how can it deliver them from anything else? It can't. And Joe Biden can't. We don't even know what time of day it is. If you were to ask Joe Biden, what year are we in? What date? What date is it today? And what is it today? He couldn't tell you to save his life. I can guarantee it.
He's just waxed worse and worse since he's got in office now.
Yeah. So what does that tell you about the social witchcraft? Did it better them as a group of people? No, it didn't. So how is it going to do anything to save them from the flame? Come on, man. Go on, brother.
And it says, "There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor a fire to sit before. Thus shall they be under thee, with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants. From thy youth they shall wander every one to his quarter, and none shall save thee."
And none shall save thee. So really he's referring to Nebuchadnezzar, but this prophecy is used towards America because you also have merchants, the same kind of men you had back then you have them now. You had men that were under the king of Babylon at the time, the other nations. And as well as you do today, you have nations that are under America, which are considered the other nations are known as the waters in Revelations. If you can't get me that, brother.
The waters?
Yeah, Revelation 17, verse 7. Many waters. Because the Babylonian Empire was a great empire. When you actually read into it, this man had the king of Babylon had a lot of he just had absolute power. He had a lot of nations under him, including us. He was under their leadership as well. Which probably Lord willing next week we'll go into it.
Right. So Revelation 17:15, "And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues."
Yeah. So that's what the waters represent. The waters represent the other nations, which are under America today. That America can no longer rule because right now, pretty much the Lord is pretty much bucking them out, man. Just like how the Lord bugged out Nebuchadnezzar and made him think that he was a creature, an animal.
Made him eat grass and shit.
Yeah. And you know what? So I tell you what we can also do. Let's pull out the scriptures on that. Let's get Ezekiel, not Ezekiel, Daniel's 4. But I have to say this once again. I don't need to jump around, but I want to say this again. Our people, man, out here can be really stupid, because that's why the scripture says for the Lord's people, the Lord actually said it through Isaiah that they're Sodom's children. Because think about it, man. How in the world are you gonna look at the so-called white people and want to be like them, but they're upstairs behind closed doors doing drugs, man? Heritage, they tell you, look, don't sell it, don't do it, but they're doing it. And if we find you doing it, then we can penalize you. You get arrested for it. I just can't stop going all over that, man, because it's like, really, like, damn.
It's a reality check, isn't it?
Yeah. It really is, man.
Right.
And it's not a good look for Edomites either.
So, Daniel chapter 4 from verse 30. The king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power, and for the honor of my majesty? While the word was yet in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from me. And they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
Because Nebuchadnezzar was getting real proud. And I mean, you would be naturally, you would be really proud, because I mean, if you're so powerful the way you got other nations being under you and doing their part to pretty much forward in the kingdom that you had, come on, man, you're gonna shoot up with pride. And that's what happened with him, emotionally going, brother. And the Lord had to show him, look, it's me that ruleth in the kingdom of men.
Yep. And thou shalt, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will.
Yeah, and give the rulership, the power to whomsoever he will. That's why when you read Job 9 and 24, it says that the earth is given in to the hands of the wicked. It doesn't say that the wicked have taken the earth. The earth was given into the hands. So who gave the earth? The Heavenly Father gives the nations the earth to rule. Go on.
Right? And it said that same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails as bird's claws. So he was out there, man.
So he was bugged out. So the Lord is bugging out these politicians and these leaders too. Because think about it, man. And let's just say, if you're even in the shadow government, right, and you're able to determine who becomes the president of the country or who doesn't, right? For the shadow government to pick and choose these leaders, that means they got to be bug outs too. They got to be bugging out. You know, and if you can, brother, it's in the book of Daniel. I think it's chapter 5 where it talks about meeting to kill. Something like that. We can pull that out.
Oh yeah, Daniel 5. Yeah, the latter verses.
I'll read into it. Daniel 5 from verse 1.
I tell you what, let him read it, because he can go into the Greek. I don't want him to go into the Greek. Yeah, but you can also give me Job 14:5. Could be verse 2 actually. Yeah, give me the one where it says merely to cow to Pharaoh or something like that.
You asking me that?
Yeah. Yeah, go on.
Right, Job 14 verse 5. Seeing that his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
Yeah, in other words, he has a period of time. And this is what Daniel is going to expound to Nebuchadnezzar in the book of Daniel. Fine. Go on, brother. He's just waiting to load up his... So the same way Daniel was expounding to Nebuchadnezzar, the measured time that he had, as well as the so-called white man that's in rulership right now, they also have a short portion of time to rule. And it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And the leaders of the world are waxing worse and worse and worse. showing you the times that we're living in. We're living in the times of approaching the end of the so-called white man's rulership.
I've got it. Daniel chapter 5 and verse 24 says, Then was there part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written, many teki aparazim, many tekel aparazim.
Yeah, so look up those words. You could say something.
Yeah, just working out what's going on here. Bear me a second.
Go straight to translated many men masculine says there weight or measurement. Yeah,
Yep.
basically it's giving a little estimation there, usually 50 shekels but maybe 60 shekels.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Yeah, so
Look up the next one.
I believe that saying, if I remember the breakdown of it correctly, it means thou has been weighed in the balance and has been found
Yep.
wanting.
That's right. That's right, bro.
As a whole.
Many tekel.
Well, Esau has been found wanting as well.
Exactly.
That's why this is also known as old daughter of Babylon, which the word wanton means undisciplined.
One ton. Yeah. Undisciplined.
You're undisciplined. Going back to what we was talking about earlier before, is an undisciplined act that the politician is snorting cocaine, man.
That's right. This is funny because there's no getting around it. You know what I'm saying? It paints such a picture of your society, man, that it's at its end. Can't continue in a place like this, man. This isn't going to come back in the great revival of Esau's empires. It's over. It's over.
Yeah. Unite of weighed shekel. That's, we looked at many now. This is many teki. This is teki now. Let me see. Let me make sure. Yeah, this is teki. Yeah, tekel. Pronounce it tekel. And it says masculine noun shekel or tekel, weight of weight, unit of weight.
Okay.
Something that is a unit of weight.
Yeah.
So when you say something is weighed in the balance, your days, like saying your days are numbered.
Yeah.
Your days are numbered.
Yeah.
You know that old saying.
Yeah.
And if I could just add what you were saying about the politicians now. He was plagued. Nebuchadnezzar was plagued to be looking like a beast, or to live like a beast. Back to Joe Biden. We was talking about he's shitting himself now,
Yeah.
right? He's talking like very simple.
Yeah.
And there's a saying, it's a true saying, once a man twice a child, yeah? Once a man, twice a child. Through the Spirit now we're on that subject, I believe the Most High is plaguing him with second childhood before it's time.
So, yeah.
Because when you get older, when you have to be dependent on someone in a wheelchair, someone got to wipe your ass and all that, that usually happens. That's a true saying, second childhood. But in his case, the Most High is giving it to him before time.
Okay.
And he's making so that we can look at this man now and say, look at the fucking man who's ruling over us.
Exactly.
And even Esau too.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, you got that.
Yeah, so that's a great point because Esau has been weighed in the balance and found wanting because the Most High has given Esau an appointed time to do what he's doing. As you read in Job, is it Job 14:5 I just read?
Yeah.
The Most High have appointed his bounds that cannot pass. So Esau's doing all that he's supposed to be doing right now until his iniquity reaches the ultimate apex, and that's when the Most High is going to bring the judgment on him, because the scripture says, just when he's about to fill his belly, then shall the Most High rain snares upon him.
That's right.
And them snares going to be the missiles and Yahushua with the chariots coming back, as Isaiah 66 verse 15 says. I quoted it earlier, but I'll quote it again. The Lord will come with, actually we'll get it.
And you know too, there's a scripture in the Apocrypha that tells us that when the nations reach to the height of their sins, that's when the Lord is going to pretty much judge them. So that's what the Lord is doing with you. That's all Esau got to do is come with that mark of the beast. The Parakma. And once they come with the Parakma, then it's up and done from there.
That's a good point, and I'll just speak on that for a second before I get the precept. I was watching a video before I came out to camp today. One of the brothers in America done a video, and they had a video of Elon Musk saying that he hopes to start implanting people with the Neuralink in 2022, which is just a few months away. So Lord willing, I mean, we pray all the time, but Lord willing, that they could be pushing the mark in 2022 if all goes
all to plan.
All to plan, yeah. Because with that Neuralink, they were saying that he was saying that they've got it to where they've tried it on the pig. I remember they had that video where they showed the pig.
2 pigs. Yeah, 2 pigs.
Yeah, and that
was on trip.
Yeah, I think the pig's name was Gertrude. Don't ask me why I remember the pig's name. But now they say they've done it with the monkeys, where they've got monkeys playing that video game Pong. And I'm like, man, Esau's fucking weird, man. Why do you want to get monkeys to play a video game? I mean, come on, man. I mean, on an everyday, like that's just
mad.
Why would you want to get put? First of all, you're going to open up the monkey's head, then implant microchips on it just to get it to sit there and play some fucking Pong. I mean, come on, man. But that's Esau for you. But the good news is that he's moving forward. Esau's moving forward with their agenda. Yeah, man. And also, not to forget that ties in with the clot shot push, which they're doing, because that all ties into the MOTB as well. So all roads are facing towards the MOTB. Something else I'll mention briefly is that a lot of people are finding it hard to get microchips at the moment for like or to get components for your computers and stuff which use microchips. Because a lot of these chip developers, they know that there's something coming down the line where they're going to use the MOTB. So they're changing all their manufacturing to producing that type of chip because they want to be able to get the financial benefit of being able to supply the demand for that. So that's another reason why there's a shortage of like chips and CPU components and stuff like that. Furthermore, I brought this point out, I think I was at the other camp with Dawada. I was saying, Kamala Harris is on the news saying that there's going to be supply chain problems for the foreseeable future. They were saying that back in the summer, right? Well, guess what? Check this out, right? They say there's a shortage of... Actually, let me give a brief testimony, right? A few weeks ago, I wanted to go to get some takeaway for myself and my mother. I was going to Nando's. I turned up there, this is on a Sunday. I walked in and I'm standing at the counter. As a woman comes out, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, but we've had to close." I'm just looking at it, I didn't say a word, right? "Oh, I'm sorry, we had to close because we don't have enough stock to keep serving anybody, so we have to close." Now I was pissed off because I was hungry as hell that day. And when you're standing there and someone tells you, "I'm sorry, we've got no more food," you get pissed off. But I didn't even bother to say anything, I just walked out. But as I was walking home, I was thinking to myself, hang on a minute, that's good news. Because it shows we're coming more towards the times of famine. You know, the times of shortages of bread and stuff like that. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of these businesses, like you walk into the supermarket, there's nowhere near as much food as there used to be in, say, like 2019. So a lot of these supply chain problems are hitting. But the point I want to make is this. There's a supply chain problem affecting everything except syringes. Everything except the shots. You see what I'm saying? There's no shortage of them having clot shots to inject people with. They're talking about, oh yeah, we need to get 4 million people by this date and all this kind of shit. But there's no supply chain problem there. So what the fuck's going on? See, when you start to use your head, you start to see, hang on a minute, this is all just Esau's agenda, and he's basically trying to. It's like when they have cattle and they're trying to force them to go into the cattle pen. They kind of, set up barriers on the sides so the cattle go straight into the pen. That's what he's doing with the people. And that goes back to Esau being a cunning hunter because he's basically deceived the people into making them think that what's best for them is what Mr. Government says.
Right.
So they're not really thinking for themselves.
Wait a minute, brother. The government's on point.
Exactly. You know what? The government's on coke. These people might as well be on coke too, man, because they're making these bugged out decisions that are affecting them. Like last week, we had the woman come up here when we was teaching. A woman come up. Oh, excuse me, do you know where the vaccination centre is? Come on, man, she might as well have been on coke herself. You know, because what she's putting in her body is probably worse than fucking coke.
Right.
So yeah, man, these people, but again, it's a strong delusion, man, because every day you mention that Esau's got his stargazers, his monthly prognosticators, all those kind of people.
Think tanks.
Yeah, they're sitting there and every night they're putting out their enchantments, putting out their flipping witchcraft. So and that's the thing, man, a lot of these people, the first thing they do when they wake up in the morning, let me put on BBC News.
Right.
So the first thing they're looking at is fucking witchcraft, telling them that, you know, another 20 people died of COVID yesterday. So these people are getting shook. Oh, I need to get my shot, man. And now they try and say, oh, like I was reading the article in the news yesterday, right? Yeah, I was reading the article in the news
because of the new variant.
And some bullshit, some nurse was saying, oh, people are coming in and they're saying, oh, I wish I'd taken the shot. And that was just some fucking spin piece.
Oh, the news?
Yeah, the news was saying people are getting in the hospital and they're sick now and they're saying, oh, I wish I'd taken the shot. That's not happening. What's really happening is people taking a shot and they're getting sick.
And they wish they never had took the shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the media is spinning it.
Very, very good, man.
They're spinning it to try and make people think that, oh, this is in your best interest. You need to do your part for society. You need to take your 2 shots and your booster. And the funniest thing about this is, I laugh because them people who took their 2 shots and they were posting on Facebook and shit, I saw it with my own eyes. They were posting, oh, I'm fully vaccinated. I'm fully V'd, right? fully vaccinated. Now your fully V'd status is now being, it's eroding.
Like the water, he says crack scene.
The crack scene.
What you can say is crack scene.
Yeah, man. These people are, they're through, man, and tired of being here. You know, I wish this thing would hurry up, but at the end of the day, we have to bear the indignation of the Lord, for we have sinned against him.
What is it? Patience possession your soul.
Yeah, in your patience, can't.
That's what we
suffer.
That's what we have to do. We have to still in this bullshit world. Because I mean, it's just getting worse and worse. It's not. I mean, you can't say if you're looking at the world the way the world is, it's getting better. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. You know what I mean? Like if your prime minister and your politicians on the phone came, you know it's getting bad out here. It's got to be getting real bad.
If I may add to that, that's a beautiful point, Elder, because I remember back nearly a year ago when the lockdowns first started, what did they say? Oh, we just need 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Just 2 weeks. We're nearly 2 years into this thing now, and they flattened the curve. And here's another reason why. If you're just like, this is how you know people don't really think, right? If you use your head and look at what's going on, right? Let's look at it logically. If the pot shop really was doing its job and people were being protected, why is the situation not any better? Because so many people are lining up and taking it, right? So if these people are taking it...
And they said they got the numbers too. They said, what is it? They got 85% that took it. I hope took it. Then we should be back to square one again, back to 2018-17 conditions.
Exactly. If 85% of the people have taken it, why is the problem not 85% better?
Yeah, and why is there another variant? Because I don't think that happens. You don't get one variant of a virus, and then another variant comes on top of this variant, and another variant comes on top of another variant. Like, you can't, like, this is just foolishness. This is silly.
Yeah.
They're making this bullshit up in the media, man. That's what they're doing. Ain't nothing going on out here. What's going on? I want to just say what's really going on, right? What's really going on is people are taking the ooh-wee, right? And they're getting the Omicron. All right, they're taking the ooh-wee shot, they're taking the clutch shot, like the brother says, and that's where they're getting these issues from. And the issues that they're displaying, they got names for it. They either call it the COV, or they calling it the Delta, right? And then they calling it something else now, Omicron. Yeah. But all of these different things are in the syringe. That's the truth. That's what's really going on.
You got to think to yourself, man. Why?
I hope you don't cut the line, man, because we said a couple of wrong words, you know.
Well, so like let's just keep going and Lord willing it'll be good.
It'll be alright.
But this is the thing, it's like, you've got to question it as well. And a lot of these people are stupid, like they're going to these V centers and they're sitting down and they're letting some random motherfucker put a needle in their arm, but they don't even know what's in the syringe. Right. How are you going to do that, man? That's just fucking stupid.
Yep.
Because I put a video in the chat, don't know if you brothers saw it, where Bill Gates himself was saying, and we get them by the arm, and we really stab it in their arm. We stab the needle right in the vein.
Right.
And he looked like he was getting
excited.
He was getting off on the fact that they could like go straight into people's veins.
He was getting up on it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sinister Bill Gates, man.
See, that's why you can't have no Edomite friends, because they're just weirdos, man. They get off on blood, they get off on death, they get off on pain.
Yeah.
But I know
crazy, man. These people are crazy. And that's why little boys, man. They always into them little boys. They can't help themselves. These some crazy bug out individuals.
He likes to defile things. The older the way they
like him. Yeah, exactly.
You always
I would
says
not
that.
be surprised if he's a pedophile, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me just calm down.
He likes to spread germs. He likes to spread his germs. Very generous with his germs.
Yeah, he look like a damn fucking buzzard, man.
Weirdo. But you know, these Edomites have been pedophiles going from like when I was a
time
child.
of the Greeks.
Oh yeah, going way back to the time of the Greeks. Yeah. The scriptures say when they came into power after Alexander reigned 12 years, and those 4 kings set crowns upon themselves. It says and evils were multiplied in the earth. So I'm going to read this precept. Isaiah 66:15, because I quoted it before. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many.
Yeah, because the Lord is going to have to kill a lot of people, man, to get this thing done the right way once again. Just like when the flood came around. What did the Lord do? The Lord pretty much wiped away all of humanity at the time. So called, I use that term, right? But so that the Lord can start all over again with the 3 sons.
The great reset.
Right. The spiritual great reset, brother. Right? So now the Lord is going to have to do another reset, and this time he's going to use the element of fire to cleanse all of this mess.
I got one, yeah.
Go on, huh?
Because you were saying that Esau gets off on defiling
On
people
blood.
on blood. Yeah. Psalms 2 and 8, right? It says, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the utmost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them to pieces like a
And he's going to enjoy every bit of it too. When they're kicking their ass, man, they're going to enjoy every bit of it. Man.
So I was gonna say what you just said. They like to get off on defiling people, but Jake is about justice, man. When I really study about Jake, and even the 2/3 too, they're about street justice, right? But Yeshua Allah, we're about justice, putting things right. So that's what the Most High is beautiful, because that's
He's wonderful.
That's what you're saying there. He said we know we're gonna get off on doing it, man. Putting them in order and bashing their heads.
You know what it says too in the book of Psalms? It says that we shall dance in their blood. That's how you know we're gonna get it. What's that, brother?
It's like it wash our feet in their blood.
What? Yeah, we're gonna wash our feet in their blood. Means we're gonna dance while we're shedding their blood. So we're gonna get off on slaying them, laying them with the sword. We're gonna get off and doing it, man, because it's about time that justice is served.
Right.
Now we're gonna do it now. No, we're gonna do it when the Messiah makes a second return, which can happen probably next year or a year after that, Lord willing. You know, so that's just the bottom line, man. But at the end of the day, what's beautiful enough that we're seeing now is that this devil is losing fucking minds, man.
Yep.
These devils are losing their minds.
On every front. On every front, man. Even people on the comment boards, man. Like people who are Edomites that don't really have no power in the society. They're getting cut on the comment boards and stuff like this. I saw a video of these 2 Edomites a couple of weeks back trying to talk about how God doesn't hate Esau, and that people who say that are misinterpreting the scriptures and stuff. Yeah, there's some foolishness. There's 2 guys sitting there debating, trying to twist it to say that God doesn't hate Esau. But basically on the comment board, people were like, you know, man, these guys are talking shit, man. The Bible clearly says God hates Esau. And people are posting precepts. People who aren't necessarily got GMS on their name and stuff. they're there and they're posting things like, Malachi 1 verse 4.
Right.
So this word is getting out there, man. And you know what, man? Esau done fucked up because if he had any sense, right, he would have pulled the plug on the internet in 2007.
Oh, yes, he would.
If he had any sense, right, they would have pulled the plug in 2007 when the apostles first came on there.
Huh.
But they let this thing grow. And at first, I guess they thought, well, if we just ignore them, they'll go away. Well, guess what? The truth can't be ignored, man. And the truth cannot be hid.
Nope.
Can't be hid, and you can't do nothing against the truth but for the truth. So by you allowing this truth to be broadcast on the internet, because what you got to remember is like, we do the camp, we're out here for a few hours on a Saturday or whatever, or on a Thursday when we're in Brixton and stuff.
Right.
But the internet's constantly on 24/7.
Yeah.
So somewhere around the world, and that's pertaining to Psalms the 19th chapter, which is the internet scriptures, that someone around the world, like someone could be sitting in China at 2 a.m. in the morning here, and they're just logging on and seeing our live stream now, or seeing our videos some other time. So basically, what Esau failed in doing was in trying to cut this truth off early. He couldn't have done it anyway, because this is the spirit of the Lord for this word to come out and to propagate the whole earth. But Esau done fucked up there, and another way he fucked up is because he allowed the truth to be propagated, more and more people are waking up around the world. Like, for example, different brothers come in at different times. This brother came in many years before I did, but when it was time I heard this truth, and I came in too, because I was able to hear this word, So Esau, man, your whole game plan was flawed from the beginning, man. Thinking that you could, like, first of all, enslave the apple of the Most High's eye. Go over there to the Americas and steal that land, claiming that Columbus found America and all that bullshit, which is a complete lie. Then you tried to cover the faces of the judges with your iconoclasm, painting the Lord as a so-called white man and Adam as a white man and all the angels as little naked Edomite babies. Then what else did you do? You put us into chattel slavery. You've got to mention that.
And then they said that so-called black people never really did anything in history.
Yeah.
We've done far too much in history.
That's a good point. They had to put out these lies to say that the so-called black man is only 3/5 of a man, all this bullshit. I mean, come on, man. And now these motherfuckers want to turn around and say, oh, but now we're all equal. But yet, it wasn't even a few, I don't know if it's even 100 years ago, where you were saying that we was only 3/5 of a man. But now, all of a sudden, we're equal. But that shows that they're on the decline. You got something?
No, they haven't. That what you're saying with the 3/5 of a man, that hasn't been withdrawn either.
It hasn't.
Out of the Constitution. It's still in the Constitution. So they're trying to fool.
Full of shit, man.
That's why they say we're not citizens, and that's why when they're arresting nigga Jakes and shooting them, right? They're not citizens of law. They have no rights.
Okay.
That's according to their own psyche.
The brother's absolutely right. I got the scripture here because you was talking about how Esau didn't pull the plug on it, right? So it says, this is Isaiah 46 verse 9. It says, remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there's none else. I am the Most High, and there's none else like me, declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure, because ultimately it is the counsel of the Lord that this truth comes out now. It's preordained. So the Lord already revealed to us the secrets and the visions of the times. So now what we're doing is we're set up to pretty much, expose all of that which was revealed to us. Project to all of that are watching. And letting also the so-called white people them know, and as well as the other nations know, that their end is going to come based on this nuclear war. So there's old prophecies that have came to pass, and now there's new prophecies that must come hereafter. And now we're in the time of the Lord declaring new prophecies. Okay? And it's all happening to us in the latter times. So there you go.
That's a good point. And that's interesting because when Esau does stuff on the left-hand side, for example, if he's gonna destroy someone, like a celebrity or something, what's the first thing you do? Usually he'll destroy their reputation. Then he'll end up destroying them, like, killing them or something. I'll use Michael Jackson as a good example. right?
Character assassination.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well said. That's the perfect term for it. Character assassination.
that's
Esau
the Lord,
loves
man.
to do that, man. Like, look at Bill Cosby, look at R. Kelly, look at all these guys who they're dragging through the dirt, whatever. Now, those guys, they're in the world, they've done what they've done to get to where they're getting to, so they're really getting, you know, what they deserve on the left-hand side, but at the end of the day, they're still Israelites. But Esau gets off on that. But guess what? The Most High also does that, but on the right-hand side. So therefore, before a kingdom goes down, the Most High will send his prophets to condemn the place, and then the end will come for that kingdom or that nation, right? So Esau now, in him being revealed, this is the Most High lifting up his skirt before he destroys this man. Because when the Most High destroys this man, nobody's going to be looking at Esau as like, oh, look at all those buildings they built and all the great things they did. Nobody's going to be thinking about that. All that's going to be on Esau is the shame for what he's done.
Obadiah.
You know, that's going to be his memorial. It's going to be shameful spewing upon his glory.
And you know what too as well, and I just want you to bring the scriptures out. A couple of scriptures I want you to bring. Because you made a very key point in saying that prophets come out at the last minute, you know, before the society ends, and then once the prophets come out, they say what they gotta say to condemn the place. So you use that word. But by us condemning the place, it's actually a vibration behind it. Because when you read what Yahweh said, he gave, I think it was Yahweh, but he also said that if you believe that this mountain can move, then it can move.
Mountains.
Yeah, if you could please hit me that, brother. And you can kind of connect it with the wars of Jericho, when all of the men within the nation of Israel, which is obviously our historical account, not those so-called Jews, but our historical account, when we circled the building or the wall of Jericho, and we were shouting against it, blowing the horns against it, and eventually it fell apart. So that's what we're doing. We're surrounding Esau's kingdom and chanting against it, because we believe that we can move this mountain, and this mountain is being moved.
That's right.
This governmental power of Esau is being moved.
Yep.
Go on, brother.
Matthew 17 and verse 20.
Go on.
And Yahweh said unto them,
Oh, Yahweh said. Go on,
yeah,
go on.
because of your unbelief, because they were asking why they couldn't cast a certain demon out.
Okay.
He says, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have the faith as the grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto
So
you.
even with a little faith, can bring about much of a change. It's what he was really telling his disciples. So just imagine if you have greater faith, man, anything can happen, man. Anything is possible. That's what I meant to say. Go on, brother. And that's what's happening right now. Like, here it is. We've been condemning this place for years, and now we see it being destroyed little and little.
That's right. It's like you can see the cracks in the
cracks. Yep.
what do you call it? Like you see iceberg, right? Or a cube of ice. If you're watching it, you put a cube of ice on the side. In room temperature, eventually you start to see it crack.
It starts to crack.
It starts melting. So yeah, man, this is a beautiful time to be alive, in the sense that it's a beautiful time to be an Israelite in this truth, because you can literally see the Most High is turning up the heat on this place, man.
Yeah, he is. It's like the crack of a bridge. You can see the bridge gradually cracking apart.
Yeah.
To the point where they have to renovate it. You know?
Yeah.
But there's no renovation for the system.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
The end of the so-called white boy is about to be. And I laugh to that.
Yep.
I vehemently with a passion laugh to that. And I'll probably go home and drink the best one that I can buy.
Open up some bitches seat to Esau.
Yeah.
Toast.
Yeah. I've always got something there just in case I see some judgment. There's always something in the cupboard, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother, you're hit me with that scripture.
Right, can't I read it again, yeah?
Yeah.
So it says, Matthew 17:20, and Yahweh said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have the faith as the grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible to you.
Yeah, and nothing shall. That's what I didn't even know you were saying. You was gonna read that. But I said the same thing. I said, once you have, so just imagine if you have a large amount of faith, then nothing's impossible. All things are possible. So if you notice, what's flourishing right now is faith.
That's right.
That's why the faith is the most important thing above everything, right? Because if you have faith, nothing, as we just read to you, is impossible. So what are we seeing for the span of time that we've been preaching this word? Saying the same things over and over again. We've been seeing the changing of the system from where it used to be, from where it's at now. It's declining. Why? Because we're condemning the place. Our vibration is condemning this society, and therefore moving this mountain away. Just like how we moved, just like how we destroyed the walls of Jericho without touching, just by shouting and screaming and blowing the horn against it. That's our heritage, and that's why they didn't want us to find out who we were. Because if we found out who we were, then we would understand that there's power in being what our forefathers were. Okay? They didn't want us to go back to this, because if we all went back to this, we would exercise these things, which is what we're doing right now. But we're just prophesying against it. And it's not just us, it's thousands of us worldwide. You have GMS Nigeria, you got GMS Holland, you got GMS Jamaica, you got GMS Trinidad, Tobago, right? Man, there's GMS camps all over the place. There's Israelite camps all over the goddamn place, man. That's why this place is falling apart, and that's why we know this time is moving so quick. What did Yahweh Shai say? Yahweh Shai said that the days will be short for the sake of the election. I'm roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah. Oh, I've got one for you, right?
Please, brother.
This is in Hebrews 11, verse 30. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down.
Thank you.
After they were compassed about 7 days.
Right, after they compassed about 7 days. So it took faith for the walls of Jericho to fall down, and they didn't have to touch it.
Yep.
They didn't have to touch it with their pinky finger. All they had to do was surround themselves and shout against it with with their voice, and as well as with the trumpets, and the city, and not the city, but the walls crumbled apart. So that's what we're doing. So we don't have to lift the pinky to Esau. We don't have to resort to the violence with Esau. We don't have to protest do anything. All we gotta do is keep doing what we're doing right now, and that's what's gonna move this mountain out of the way to be abolished.
And if I may
And
add,
demolished.
it's like abolished and demolished for a virgin. And if I may add to that, that's the reason why Esau can't fight against this truth, because Esau has always been a carnal man, a carnal fighter. He trusts in his bombs, in his airplanes, in his machine guns, and because we're not coming at him in that same carnal-minded spirit, he's having to fight spiritual things with carnal means. And in his mind, that's why Esau's like, he can't comprehend this truth. That's why, as I said before, if he had any sense, he would shut the internet in 2007. He didn't comprehend the amount of damage words alone would do to his society. But the thing is, the damage isn't being caused by our words, it's the words of the Heavenly Father.
That's it.
And you can't come up against those words, man.
That's it.
Because the Most High said, thus shall it be with my word that go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish the thing whereunto I sent it.
Yes.
So again, we're not just regular men standing here. That's another reason why Esau can't come up against us, because we're speaking the words we're the mouthpiece of the Most High. So really, if Esau's got a problem, he has to go to the Most High, because we're just speaking his words. And the Most High's already got an issue with Esau, going back to the days of Cain, as we mentioned earlier. The Most High already, let me get that if I may.
And you know it's so heavy, because technically, right, when we come out here and we prophesy against this system, and we prophesy against these people, our beef is really not the people. You know who our beef is scared towards? The powers that be, because you have two opposing forces. You have the house of David going up against the house of the wicked ones, which are in control of this world. So that's who we're really fighting up against. We're not fighting against these people, these peons. Like, they don't know
the low-level.
Yeah, low-level peon individuals. Like, they're just like dust particles, man. Such as full cap alone as well. Our beef ain't really with them. Our beef is towards the elite.
Wow.
You have the righteous elite and you have the wicked elite, and they're going to get. They're coming to blows, man. The world winning at the end of the day. Come on, brother.
Vocab Malone, man, that guy looks fucking depressed as all hell, man. When you
sure
see him, it's like the life has gone out of him, man. He knows he's troubled by this truth.
Yeah, you can tell.
He's troubled by it, man. When he first took his assignment, because we know he's an agent, right? When he first took his assignment, he probably thought it's going to be an easy thing. I'll just do a few months and I'll just, I'll come up against these Israelites and that'll be it. Well, guess what? He's realizing now that we're we're the flipping marathon runners, man. We're not getting tired. We're only getting stronger and stronger.
We're just beginning.
Exactly. It Esau's waxing weaker and weaker. So vocab, what do you call it? He was playing a losing game, thinking that he could somehow circumvent or stop this truth somehow. And I remember watching that interview when he was sitting there doing his flipping his Vesica Pisces thing, that hand symbol, yeah. And he was saying that I predict within a few years, Hebrew Israelism, as he called it, will overtake Christianity. And he was right. He was right about that. But the thing is, he was saying that's why it's so important now to get out there and evangelize to the people and teach them the truth of Christianity and blah 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 blah. He was saying all this shit, but guess what? It failed. You know, and now a lot of people are leaving the Christian church. You know, there's people who are not in GMS, but they were in the church and they're hearing this truth and they're thinking, hang on a minute, this makes sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So Christianity, man, that's a failed product of the Roman Catholic Church anyway, because as we said before, this gospel shall be preached unto the ends of the earth, and then shall the end come. Well, Christianity's been doing its rounds on the earth for how long? But the end still ain't come. Yeah. But guess what? Since the apostles came on the internet in 2007, this truth has proliferated the earth, and things have been accelerated more towards the end of this society.
It sure has, yeah. And that's a good way of putting it, because like we were saying earlier before, this truth that we have, this gospel, is just not the gospel that's being preached in the churches. It's the gospel that's changing the world, man, because this is the words of God that we're going into, the true, genuine words of God. So this world is being destroyed little because of our condemnation to royalty. Now, do we condemn this place because we would like to condemn this place? Of course, that's the case. But it's because it's the will of the Lord ultimately. All right, that's the ultimate agenda of the Lord, is to set up men to prophesy. If you can, brother, get you know what I want, Jeremiah 28:8. So yeah, the Lord set up prophets before the end times of all of the different ages of the empires that came in effect. So in this empire, we know that it's about to come to an end. And so what the Lord did was, way before our time, He already set it up that we were still in the streets to proclaim the end. And as we're doing so, the end is coming closer and closer and closer.
You can almost taste it.
Yeah, you can taste it. You can actually smell it. Go on, brother.
Jeremiah 28:8. That's lucky. Let me just say something. Edomites aren't looking as proud as they once did. Like, I remember, you know, you go into certain situations, Edomites will be looking at you like, you know, eyeballing you and shit. They ain't really doing that too tough no more these days. I've noticed, at least. They've got a little bit more of a sort of like
humble look.
Yeah. They ain't so as proud as they once were, man. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And that's what we're set up to do. Isaiah did the same thing. Jeremiah did the same thing. Malachi did the same thing. They prophesied against the empires that they were in. So we're doing the same. The empire that we're in, we're the last leg of the Roman Empire, which we're in a part of the 10 toes.
Yep.
And in this empire, what are we doing? We're prophesying against it. We're condemning it. And it's not because we're condemning it just to condemn it. We're condemning it because it's wicked. All right? And we're telling the Most High that it's wicked, man, in the outer cosmos. So in return, He can destroy this place. Because you know what we are, really what we are? Yeah, we're the prophets of the Lord, but you know what we really are? We're the judges here on earth.
That's right.
The earth is the courts, and we're the judges that's in it. Just opening up the books on this soul to condemn him due to the wrongs that he's done.
That's right.
And then we're telling them, look, this is going to be the outcome you saw. Sign or something.
And that's a good.
Okay.
Say?
No, it's all right. So just reminded me that.
Okay, that's a good point, because as you said earlier, Elder, there's two sides in this battle. You've got the elect of the Edomites, you've got the elect of the nation of Israel. That's what's really going on, and a lot of these people are just, as you said, you know, dust just walking around and stuff.
Yeah.
But really, it's good set against evil.
Yes.
So that's why, in order for our kingdom to come, it's just going to be a kingdom wherein dwelleth righteousness. Esau's kingdom has to go down. It's like we can't, the kingdom of heaven can't come while we're still stuck here in Babylon. Babylon has to fall, you know, because it's like two opposing forces, as they say in the world. Water and oil don't mix. Yeah. Now, some of our people are still lost in the world, and they're thinking, oh well, how can white people be wicked, and how can we put them in slavery? Two wrongs don't make a right, and all this kind of shit. Well, what I want to say to these people is this: get out of your feelings, man. Because when it comes to dealing with the matters of the Most High, you have to put your feelings aside and do what the Scripture says. Because if you don't do that, you're making yourself an adversary to the Most High by trying to oppose His will. Who are you to say Esau shouldn't go into slavery, man? Yeah. Who are you to say the Edomites are not wicked, man? It's not for you to decide. You're on the earth, the Most High is in heaven. Yeah. The Most High can do all His will, man. You can create one vessel for honor, one vessel to dishonor, and you ain't got no place to be turning around and say, but, oh Lord, why did you make me thus, or why did you make them thus? You just got to deal with it, man. Go ahead.
Precept. This is Exodus.
Brother, so we're going to read this last precept. We're going to close out because my phone is about to go out.
Okay, come on.
12, get straight to the point then. 35 says, and the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and remnant. Last one. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, and the Lord gave the people and the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. You were saying that you noticed that their countenance has changed. Yeah. You know, from that pride, and through the Spirit, that's happening now, slowly but surely. But it's all of the Most High's time. Yeah. So I mentioned to you about when I went into the shop the other day, because the guy was in hospital, my local corner shopkeeper, right? And he dealt with my phones and everything. And sometimes we talk, and you know. But the point is, he gave me a 64 gigabyte SIM card for the price of half price, for the price of 32. But yeah, for the price of a 32 one, because he was, you know, he's like maybe. Most High, as you said, Most High gave him favor to me. Yeah, because maybe he learned something when he was in hospital for the V, and maybe he said, well, he actually said, I'm happy to be alive. But even all of this pandemic is humbling them to the point where they might be starting to look at us. Some of them probably saw videos, you know, but they're hearing about this word is being pushed all around the globe. So same thing here. Most High showed giving them favor, right? He gave Moses, he gave the Egyptians, gave the children of Israel favor in the sight of the Egyptians. So on a lower level now, for the time being, we're getting favor now. And the Most High is doing it. And who's to say now, who's to say they're soon going to start giving us SIPs? We know through prophecy they're going to start bringing all their women and all that as well. Yeah. And their jewelry and their wealth. And coming over to our border and bowing down to us, you know? Yeah. More so in the new kingdom, but even to the end of this kingdom, who knows what they're going to start to do because of the fear of the Most High. He gave them favor, gave us favor in the eyes of the Egyptians. And they're the Egyptians today, the Edomites, yeah?
And you know it too as well, like you saying that, because we don't really know what's going to happen when it's over, before the Lord comes back. We don't know how everything's going to transition the way it's going to transition, but we just have to just go through this life the way we see how everything's going to turn out, man. But we just know eventually we're going to have the upper hand. Look, the good guys are going to have the final and last laugh when it's all said and done. Yeah. You know, so that's pretty much all we have to say. You know, it was a beautiful thing, you know, being around my brothers as always. That's right. And just preaching this word, man, to y'all. You know, whether it's the very few of y'all that's watched it live or a lot of y'all that's watched it live, it doesn't matter. This word is getting out and we're feeding you this knowledge, and you're being invigorated with this knowledge as well. So with that, we're going to give all the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ba'adash, and Wah-Ba-Ba-Ba-Ba, which stands for and the destruction of Babylon. That's right. Which we believe in as America. So we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Call me on Shalom.
Call me on Shalom. Yeah, I hope, for the first time for a very long time he hasn't come to camp, you know. I hope, you know.
That's interesting.
He did text me though.
Good.
Believe me, today when I woke up, I know I was going to be at camp, but there was something about today, like you wasn't feeling too good, you know, just generally anyway, but
I was fucking
you
pissed
know,
off with him,
there was something about today, man.
Yeah.
You know, there was something about today.
Okay.
Go on,
I
man.
will say that though, because
Yeah, Romeo was checking in. Shalom too, brother.
Shalom.
Shalom.
And other brothers as well. Shalom to all of the brothers.
Yeah, I came to camp in a pissed off mood, but
Yeah,
being
yeah,
around
yeah.
you brothers has
Yeah.
put me back to my proper
Yeah, you warmed into
proper
it
state of
after
mind.
a while.
Yeah.
And sometimes, brothers, we've got a little bit of a, when we come out, we drag a little bit of the world with us a little bit. You know, that's normal. We're men, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
But it's good to be around sincere brothers, man. I mean,
yeah, I have never made it, you know, but there we go. It's one of them days, like I said, it's one of them days today. We have to kind of fight.
Sweet.